sword it is. Let me get some levels really fast. Not yet. Woo! Okay, seems about right.
Oh.
You guys ready to rock this?
Live.
Kick some ass.
Yep.
Are you sure? So hold on, wait. Let me get the. Am I too far away from the room to hear me? Not from here. From.
Oh, I have no idea. This could be a total bust. We don't know.
What happened to Perno? Be careful, you might be watching.
Yeah.
Is that looping on me?
Apparently it is, yeah.
Shit, is that gonna be a problem? Okay, so you probably
Can we turn the audio off?
YouTube open on that computer. Turn the YouTube off.
Or turn the sound down, anyway.
Well,
There are two viewers. It's Peterson and who else?
Captain Bronco, I think.
You think I should kill the YouTube page?
They are being treated right now.
Okay.
Quality.
Because it's looping off back off the
Good
computer.
stuff here.
Or you can mute your computer. Either way.
Hold on, I just freaking lost it. Is it still going?
Oh, that's where the sound works. It's here on the columns.
Oh, it is?
And now we got feedback.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Um,
awesome, guys.
I don't need those ears anyway. That's from all the years of blasting stuff into my ears way louder.
Where did the feedback come? That's new. We haven't had that before.
That's a new trick.
oh, where the hell did it go?
I don't know.
I don't know how this stuff works.
I think it's working.
Is it still working?
I've just got black.
Maybe like in 3 seconds you won't.
No, it's refreshing.
It's like a 5-second delay. I think. Hold on.
Oh no, because I'm looking at myself fixing it. So if I go sit down, it's going through here. So yeah, I saw you sat down. You're talking. Yeah, it looks like it's fine. All right, I don't know how to shut it off, but we'll figure it out.
Well, all right.
I guess we can't see.
Turn off the
We're on
volume,
TV.
though.
Okay. All right. More interesting than some sports TV.
All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready?
It's
to do this?
Xfinity Live.
Are you ready?
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready to start recording. You start recording?
Yeah.
Let's do it, yeah. Yeah, ready.
Live from the Sporting Studios, where we're God damn it.
Hey, this is live. You gotta
Start it
keep
over
going.
again, Scott.
You gotta keep going.
I had last week's fucking thing.
Fuck it, we'll do a lot. Fuck it, we'll do a lot.
Woo! That's fine, but I wanted you to start the song over.
Hold on.
It's not the same if I fuck that up. I had last week's notes in front of me.
That's unfortunate.
That sucks. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
You're forgiven. Sorry. Okay.
The podcast will still be fine.
Are we ready now?
Sure.
Are we recording?
Sure.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't stopped.
Live from Podcast Row, inside a strip mall somewhere near Minneapolis, where the state of our owners is strong. You're in the South Stands. I'm Colin Daniels with producer Scott Stafford, the Brain Trust of BSN Rockies, Jake Shapiro, and Drew Creasman.
Yeah.
And your host, John. Denver Bears fans in the house tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like Trump. I'm just gonna clap into the microphone every time I say something. Yay!
Be back. Denver's finest internet sports talk since 1971. It's fantastic to be back.
Oh man!
It's fantastic to have our guests, and we're going to get into that real quick. But I just wanted to say we are streaming live on YouTube.
Hi,
So
YouTube.
we think. I'm pretty sure it's still going. It's still going. So that's awesome. And it was remarkably easy to do. So you big fucking pussy, Brandon Perner. I don't know what your fucking problem is, you goddamn wuss. Yes. And look, I'm gonna do this, Colin, and I'm not even gonna half blame Scott if the computer gets burned out. So I'm not even gonna half blame.
You should blame me anyway.
I think I'll blame you anyway. So you big fucking wuss. It was easy as hell. So I don't know what your fucking problem is, you goddamn pussy.
It took us long enough though.
Anyway, back to the show. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Hi, Brandon.
Yeah.
Love you, buddy.
Drew, Jake, welcome back. How's it going?
Great. There's nothing going on. What are you talking about? It's the off season. What, do they play other sports? Or?
I'm shocked that you guys are having us on. I haven't done a Denver media spot since October.
But this is Rocky's town.
This is Rocky's Town. That's why you're here. So 24/7, 365 days a year, it's Rocky's Town. So you guys are probably eager to talk because no one has.
There is never an off season.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny because you guys brought it up. You said, well, you know, it's a Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of was like, I don't fucking care about the Super Bowl personally. I'm like, it's a topic, we will talk about it, but it really is not even on my radar. Like, people are like, oh, the Super Bowl, gotta get ready for it. It's like, not really. So it's good to have you guys. We talk Super Bowl. We talk
It's
Rockets.
just as exciting as the NBA Finals with the Golden State Warriors.
Well,
It's
part of that,
just as
and
exciting.
I'll ask you guys this, 'cause I've been wondering about Broncos fans. Is part of that because the expectation is for the Broncos to get there every year, and especially with the Patriots being huge rivals of the Broncos, you guys kind of just ignore the fact that there's a Super Bowl because the Patriots are in it.
I think you're giving the Broncos way too much credit by saying that the Patriots are rivals of the Broncos. The Patriots are kind of like Germany. They're rivals of the world. There's
I can
nobody
attest to that.
nobody likes the Patriots except Patriots fans, and that's what I think makes the Super Bowl kind of a drag for most of America, is the fact that the Patriots are once again involved. But on the other hand, as a football fan and as somebody who appreciates greatness, seeing them win that 6th Super Bowl would be kind of cool. I'm looking forward to the game, but I'm not freaking out about it because it's not an interesting matchup.
It's not an interesting matchup, and I'm kind of with you on that. Like, I don't want the Patriots to win, but it's almost inevitable they're gonna win. And I don't want to live in a world where the Eagles have won the Super Bowl. That's really the main thing. I don't think the Patriots have already won 5. Another one, no big deal. They've already established their dynasty. They're great. They're fantastic. They'll live on forever.
And their fans suck.
Their fans suck.
Are Philadelphia fans worse than Boston?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, then
I don't think there's any question about it.
I think they're pretty. Yeah.
They're awful.
I saw you guys go in on this, and I know this is a hot topic for you guys, the transplant fans. And I see that we saw that with Boston this week.
Oh, the
Celtics came
Celtics
to town, which is, I think, good for the Nuggets when they have that drawing crowd. It's good for the Rockies whenever the Cubs come here or whatever because you have that
Dodgers,
crowd.
St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've kind of been going back and forth on this, and I wanted to hear more of your guys' take and expand it for me because you guys are such Denver sports fans about how you feel when you see the Boston Celtics come here and then you have this wave of fans come in and invade your territory. It's good and it's bad.
I look at it a lot like having a gay son. It bums me out that I have a gay son, but on the other hand, I'm not going to love him any less. And certainly, I'll come around, and I'm coming around to the idea that we have to live with the fact that our lot in life is as the fans of a team who typically, whichever sport it is, except football, is likely to attract a large number of opposing fans. Now, when you go, you're not going to go to a Broncos game and be overwhelmed by the opposition fans, other than maybe when the Steelers come in. That's a bit of an exception. But when you go to a Rockies game against, say, the Dodgers, or you go to an Avalanche game against, say,
Blackhawks,
Chicago. Minnesota's another one that had a great drive. Pepsi's there for some reason. Nuggets against the Celtics or the Nuggets against the Golden State Warriors. You're going to have to accept that there are going to be a lot of people sitting around you. And as long as they are respectful and don't do things like start a chant, which the Celtics fans did at Pepsi Center. Let's not have the "Let's Go Celtics"
That's
chant
obnoxious.
in somebody else's house.
That's obnoxious. Now, you,
I,
sorry, Scott.
I hate that. You know, at Coors Field, when the Dodgers are in town, the Let's Go Dodgers, just
Yeah.
horrible, absolutely horrible.
Well, this got brought up, and we've talked about this for years, this whole transplant thing, and fans coming in. We've covered this, we've written about it. And then Vic Lombardi just starts talking about it just this week, and then everyone's like,
Oh, what an interesting
what an
subject.
interesting topic. So, but Nate Kreckman was kind of defending, Nate Kreckman, a fellow Chicagoan. And I've softened my position on it over the years, where I'm now kind of like, hey, look, if you don't
A
want
lot of
to
things have softened.
yeah, a lot of things have softened. I said, you know, hey, if you don't like it, then get your ass down there and drown them out, because as more and more people show up, then you're going to represent that
And
family.
that's exactly what I do. Is when somebody's chanting "Let's go Dodgers," I chant "Let's go Rockies." But John has a theory that I think is a good one, and that is that the transplants have kids. Those kids attend the games over time. Eventually,
I can attest to that.
It's
I
an
moved here when
immature market.
I was 13 years old, 12 years old.
Yeah.
I'm a Nuggets fan now. My middle name is Jordan. I was named after the best bowl of all time. And, Mikel Jordan. Yes. Yes.
Oh, so he's the guy with the dad that died, right?
So exactly. So, and you were even a little older, but I'm
Right.
talking like when kids have like born and raised here, and they're like, I love Charlie Blackmon. He's fucking awesome. They're gonna love the Rockies from an early age on, and then they're gonna create that fan base. So maybe their douchebag dad is like a Mets fan, right? And he's like, well,
Oh, God.
and then the kids will be like, I don't know anything about this. I like Charlie Blackmon. I want to see that. That's where it's gonna change. It'll take a generation.
And then his dad will say, "Mets, boy," and thump him one.
Well, it's funny because I bring up Vic Lombardi because actually the only time we had Vic on the show, we did it from Scott's house in Golden.
Is it about the gay
And
son?
he dropped some gay something, and Vic got like kind of like
exactly what
he
I
was like, hey man,
We gotta edit that out.
Yeah, and I was like, way to go, Scott. And bumped Vic out. So I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, the transplant debate is a hot one as always, and I think that you know, you're going to get that, and I think what did Nate call it? A heritage team. The Celtics are a heritage team, meaning, you know, everyone. It's just they've been around for so long, and baseball's kind of the same way. The Rockies, in respect to the other teams, haven't been around very long.
They're babies.
Yeah, they're babies compared to the Cubs or the Reds or anybody like that. So it's going to take time, but I think that's the one you're going to see first. The Broncos are they're still going to be number one, and there's always going to be more Bronco fans. The Rockies are going to come along, and I think the other two teams, never mind.
Well, the Nuggets have been around a long time.
Yes.
There's no
Absolutely.
Precisely 50 years, I believe, based on the
But
50th anniversary marketing campaign at
That's an
Campus
awfully
Gate.
long time.
they've also been bad for most of that 50 years.
All of it. Yeah, outside of like, what,
They made
outside of
they made
3
the
years,
first
maybe?
round of the playoffs for 10 straight years.
I'm talking Chicago Bulls. I'm talking Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan good. I'm talking like that established a fan base that will never go away, right?
Yeah, and you have that with all the original 6 teams in hockey. You have that with all the teams
Like the
in baseball.
Blackhawks.
Yeah, or the teams in baseball that have established TV markets. Like the Cubs have been on WGN, the Braves on TBS, TNT for 3 times as long as the Rockies have been in existence.
Although here's a good bar question. Your bar trivia, you guys have bar trivia?
Sure, of course.
The second oldest NFL franchise is
The Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona
Yeah,
Cardinals.
I was gonna say
No
St. Louis.
no fans whatsoever.
Yeah, none.
So,
Well, they've
Yeah,
moved 3 times.
They've moved around a lot, so you know.
but that's the only exception to the rule. Well, the rest of the franchises that have been around forever are those heritage type of franchises. So it's heritage teams, this type of stuff. Not the Cardinals.
I think the thing that really works in favor of baseball, though, is the fact that the regular season actually matters. That really kills the NBA. Like, I'm not one of those guys anymore. I don't have that much time to watch the NBA, but I know a lot of guys used to be like, I don't even watch till they get to the playoffs, because that's when you get rid of all the bad teams, half the league makes the playoffs. In baseball, like you can see last year, yeah, the Rockies only got to play 1 playoff game, but all of the build up to it, that whole month
That was
of
a play-in
baseball,
game, by the way.
yeah, right. But that whole month of baseball was exciting for Rockies fans. Whereas in basketball, the regular season doesn't work in such a way that the final entire month can be. If it's exciting that you're just trying to make the playoffs in basketball, that means you're getting the 8th seed, which means you're going to get bounced immediately. Who cares? Whereas both teams typically now, especially with the 2 wild cards in baseball, no one can afford to coast down the stretch. All of the 162 games, and still sometimes we have to play 163rd one to decide between these teams. Like it gets that passion going. And
Rockies could have legitimately won the World Series last year.
Sure.
They could have legitimately done it. Where an 8th seed will never.
Well,
Right.
and it's baseball, hockey's the same way. If you get in and you get hot, you can make some noise. So, and I think football's kind of the way too. The NBA, going back to the Nuggets, I just think that they've been bad for so long. They've never had like that generational player. And when they did, Carmelo Anthony, he wanted to leave after his 2 tours were up. I think that's what it was.
Think about my age growing up. We had Carmelo in town.
Yeah.
We had Tim Tebow was the best player in the Broncos at that point.
Yeah.
And you had Troy Tulowitzki. And then the Avs had Stasny and a couple other star players. But the 2 best players in town were the guy in the Nuggets, Carmelo, and for a short time, Allen Iverson. And then you had Troy Tulowitzki, Todd Helton. So the generation that my age is, especially my age because I'm 22 and, just shortly younger than the Rockies. Like all the kids I know are huge Rockies fans because there was such a boom in Denver when that came around. And they're obviously huge Broncos fans because the Broncos have been to 5 Super Bowls and won 3 over that time, 4 and 3, whatever that is. So there is such a market for that, whereas the Nuggets never capitalized. But I am a Nuggets fan because I fell in love with those 2 teams, the one with Carmelo and AI, and the other one that was so fun to watch under George Karl. So the big sports fans, I think my age, are Nuggets fans and have fallen into that. And you see that when you go to a Nuggets game because there's a lot of kids between 15 and 25 that like going to Nuggets games. But the Nuggets have such a small market and they need to capitalize on that now. Because I'll tell you this, I told Harrison Wynn this the other day. If the Nuggets make the playoffs this year and I get the paycheck I want, I'm buying season tickets next year and I will be a Nuggets fan for life.
Wow.
But they need to capitalize on that. I'm telling you, they need to capitalize on their ability right now or else they're going to lose a generation of fans.
Well, and one thing, sorry to interrupt you, John. One thing that I learned from Andrew Feinstein, who founded Denver Stiffs, is that as a Nuggets fan, you have to learn to accept other definitions of what a championship is.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to enjoy the one. It'll happen someday. There will be the one. But you're not going to be a franchise that can expect year after year after year to be a championship contender. Because of all of the 4 major sports leagues, the NBA is the most top-heavy.
Just give me Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic as guys that maybe can be all-stars and a team that can win maybe a playoff series or 2, and I'm happy.
I think it proves the whole idea though that the younger generation, they grow up on these Denver sports. You're going to see that turnover, and they're going to be like, Pistons. I don't care about Pistons. My fucking dad likes them. Screw that. I like the Nuggets. So I think that's what you're going to see. So, but we just blew through that quarter, boys. That was good. Yeah. Well, we'll have to talk a little more here about the various other topics as we head to the first break. Yeah, various.
Hopefully the second quarter isn't as bad as the Nuggets have played.
Oh,
But
yes. Or the Avs the Avs first period. Never mind. I tried to make it work. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Okay, remember we're live over here.
I kind of took that over with Nuggets talk.
Oh, that's
Hot
good.
Nuggets talk.
I like where it goes,
Hot.
See.
I know a couple hot Nuggets. See you know what I mean, dog?
Dude, I'll tell you what. One thing is for sure. When you go down to Pepsi Center for an NBA game, the women in that arena are fucking top shelf.
Remember, you remember you're live on here.
Yes, the NBA does a good job.
Baseball is good. Those are probably
Figure this out.
baseball and the NBA for that. For the
Much
looks.
more so than a Broncos game.
Yes.
Much more so.
Maybe that's why I don't like football. I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe it's because the chicks who go to the football games
I don't know.
tend to be a little more lofty.
That was my favorite Blue Moon song. Since we have
Right.
Oh, are you out?
See the
Are you
Orange
out?
Blood Moon? I missed it.
Oh, you know what? I was up too, letting dogs out, and I didn't even look it up.
Oh man.
No.
Couldn't even be fun.
Fuck this.
Good move.
I I gotta get inside and watch Black Mirror.
It's the fucking moon ever done for me.
Have you watched Black Mirror, Colin?
Dude,
Have you seen all of them?
Yeah.
The new one season? It's great.
the Black Museum.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, second off.
Yeah, it was.
I like how the live stream right now is just the face of John.
I know.
Mysteriously trying to work things on his computer.
Well, I can't find the screen that we had.
Is it working?
It's working.
Oh, it's working, but I just can't find the screen for the Google Hangout that we had. So I guess it'll just have to work.
I
And
fucking love being able to swear because I only, like, Drew knows this, like, as soon as the mic goes off, I exclusively swear.
well, yeah,
That's how I talk, you know, growing up as a hockey player, whatever. So,
where the fuck
ability
is
to
it?
swear on a podcast. Definitely fun. I remember when we were having the debate in the BSN office with Brandon and Ryan about whether or not we should let Colin be able to swear when he's writing for BSN. And me and Ryan arguing, well, we want to be like Deadspin. And Brandon's like, well, there's some journalistic integrity there that maybe we should abide by.
Yeah. Well, we all know how that is.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'm gonna get my big face out of here soon, as soon as I can figure this out.
You see my savage roast of you today?
No,
You didn't see that?
no, savagely roasted.
So someone on Twitter like wrote Calvin Harris Blue Beard to become more relevant.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, I did see that shit, that's funny.
I'm gonna go back into this.
See what happened? I got roasted today on Twitter too. They tweeted out a picture of me talking to some high school students. That's what I did this morning. I found the boy high about journalism. And they're like, did you have to look up to them? Or?
Oh yeah, so this is delayed. Well, it's still going, so I mean, we'll just let it roll, I guess.
Is it Google Hangout or YouTube Live?
It's a Google Hangout, but I can't find the
End button?
yeah. Because where that little window popped up, it closed down on me, but it's still broadcasting. So, but this is my wife's computer, and I don't know where anything is.
Right.
So
Yeah, there's nothing like there.
there's nothing to find, because if you do this, if you go to this thing, I mean, there's nothing. Oh, it's in here.
Yeah, I don't know how to work a non-Mac.
Oh, well.
I'm not. Sorry, that sounded really douchey, but I didn't mean it that
That
way.
way.
So douchey.
So douchey.
I haven't touched a PC since.
I haven't touched a PC since I came to see Boulder.
And I'm hungry, right? My father-in-law was saying, "How can you fix my computer?" I'm like, "Oh, no." I don't know anything else about it.
So you remember how he was praising us earlier for having a good handle with technology?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, well, how do you find a webcam? How do you turn the damn thing on? Yeah, so
Son of a bitch.
I don't know. Yeah, what the fuck? All right. Well, I guess it's working, right? So
What are you trying to put it on screen?
I'm just trying to see the screen so I could stop it, but I guess it doesn't matter if I guess it doesn't matter if it's working. So
No, we'll just let these fuckers deal with what they gotta deal with.
You get what you get.
Get what you get, motherfuckers.
okay, yeah.
It's a bummer that they can't hear Scott's awesome fucking wax tracks.
I know, but we'll get flagged for that.
Hopefully,
Download the podcast. Is anyone watching this thing?
I think so.
So, but I have no way of knowing.
Mike Peterson, probably.
Oh, he's watching.
I miss you, Mike.
Seeing that.
He's bringing the noise.
Yeah.
Bring the noise.
Let's see, desktop. I'm gonna save this.
All right, I got the question, Scott. Oh, and at one of the breaks, I've got a 3-minute YouTube video. It's funny. It's good shit.
And you heard, you know the thing about Germany against the rest of the world? You heard Norm Macdonald, his little bit,
Oh
the
yeah.
whole thing?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah. That's probably where I got
Was
that.
the last one 267? Why are all these shows?
I've seen them now.
Did we delete this stuff off here?
Live twice. You did that 2 or 4 times.
I thought we deleted it.
Oh, you know what? We probably deleted the one half of, you know how it records 2 files?
Yeah, but I got show 250 through 267.
Oh, I would, no, yeah, I saved the more recent one.
Oh, okay. Well, I pulled a bunch off. So this is 268.
Dude, you tell me, I don't know.
Joe, 268. Who do we appreciate? Drew, Jake.
Yeah.
You really didn't talk that for a second there.
I know that's the least amount of talking I've done on a podcast for a while. Hey, I was fine with it.
It was
Like,
too rapid fire.
It's not like I don't yammer on and on every time I get the opportunity, so I think we're okay.
Literally,
All right.
someone just mentioned robot umps, and you will have Drew for an hour.
Dude, yeah, so why was the podcast an hour and 22 minutes, Dave? Because 45 minutes of it were spent breaking down one baseball prospectus article about robots. So,
Logical fallacies involved.
yep.
Okay, so this
First
is
thing
the
I'm gonna
show.
do
This
is
is what we
first-
do while
first
we're
thing-
recording, and yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Snyder's watching. He's
Nice,
he's
Snyder.
saying we're sexy.
All like on average or like.
I don't know if that's a child assault.
He said you guys look marvelous. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Snyder said that?
Yeah. he said that. So
Thanks, buddy.
good
Thanks,
stuff.
buddy.
Yeah. So I'm drinking there. I'm just trying to see where it catches up to.
Yeah, you guys ready to rock and roll?
Yeah. Let's get back on.
Yeah, let's do
Let's
this.
do this.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay down mutiny and then we move the question. Alright.
Yeah.
Ready?
Wait, no, I'm not ready.
Well, lay down mute.
Hang on, wait.
When you guys are doing it.
Shut up!
Your thing.
Mutiny Information Cafe. That's where Denver does its thing because this is not a chain store. This is a unique Denver institution. It's a coffee shop. It's a comic book store. It's used records and books and great people and cool stuff at Mutiny Information Cafe. Right there at Broadway and Ellsworth. And when you go in there,
Yeah.
you let them know the South Stand sent you. That'd just be great. Mutiny Information Cafe. Did Vance Joseph enjoy coaching in the Senior Bowl since it's the closest he'll come to coaching in the Super Bowl? After meeting Vance Joseph, did Baker Mayfield become determined to prove himself to the Browns? When fans claim that Vance Joseph is the crappiest coach in town, does Mike Malone get offended? If Mike Malone makes proper use of the talent on his team, could he potentially bring it back to past glory by getting swept in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah.
Does Larry Walker sometimes wish he had let Todd Helton frick him? Is batting only one area where Walker would prefer not to discuss his home road splits? Can the Rockies' new scoreboard play first base and hit for power? Thank you, Nate Creighton. Is placing Radio Row for Super Bowl 52 at the Mall of America food court kind of like holding an AA meeting at Don's Club Tavern? Did Alfred Williams keep having to hand back his 24-hour chip at the Cinnabon? Is DMAC just having to be in a building full of moms? Has Cecil Lamby already spent hours judging the staff at the comic book store? You have questions. We have answers. SouthStandsDenver.com, Colorado's finest internet sports talk since 1971.
I'm not like everybody else.
That's true.
It's true.
It's the theme of the show. We're not like everybody else.
Hopefully not.
You know what? I forgot to tell everybody, because we're doing this and it's streaming live. This is the only live and local sports talk show on right now in Denver.
How about that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know anything else, but this is it. You guys are live,
Let's claim it.
live and local. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good.
Brokered programming.
It's
Brought to you by Torchy's Tacos.
Oh yeah, I love a Torchy's sponsorship. You know, I never had Torchy's. I've never.
Dude, are you kidding me?
I've never had it. Yeah.
Dude.
Look, he's reaching
Dude,
his
you
bag.
gotta go to Torchy's.
Just every time I go by there, like when it first opened,
There's like
online,
74
I'm like,
hipsters standing in line.
And then I'd be like driving, I'm like, I don't know the menu. I'm gonna sit there and it's gonna take me a while.
Dude, get the fried shrimp one when you go. It's
Just
freaking
stand with fried
retarded.
shrimp
Yeah.
on, is that it?
I had a chicken fajita.
Oh, okay.
A little spice on there too.
Oh, well, absolutely, a little spice can go a long way for me.
It's an Austin chain, so you know that's kind of a nice fit for Denver, right? We're trying to be more Austin-y.
My
around here.
ex-girlfriend was from Austin, so she was like,
I had a girlfriend from Austin too. I took a Greyhound bus out to stay with her in her dorm at UT, and sex was had.
Yeah, you said this story before.
Wow. That's awesome.
on the Greyhound?
Yeah, sex was had
On the
on
ground.
everything but the Greyhound.
So you did not join the 30-inch club.
That's awesome. I swear we'll get to some Rockies here, but you bring up Mike Malone, and you being a Nuggets fan from way back for 7 years or however long. it was.
Potential season ticket
Potential
holder.
season ticket holder. What do you think of Mike Malone? I don't know if you know my opinion or anything, but
I think it's been on the Twitter sphere.
it's been
I'm
well known.
not a fan.
Not a fan. And I will always say that the Nuggets in the NBA are probably the sport that I probably follow the least. I admit that I'm not a massive NBA fan. I love the Nuggets. I'll watch it if it's on, if I got nothing going on. So I'll throw that out there. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm probably not the most knowledgeable, but I can just tell he sucks. And from the minute he blamed the fans for the Nuggets being shitty, I thought this guy blows. He needs to get the fuck out of
I don't disagree with all of what you said,
here. Okay,
but I have to be careful about my words because sometimes they send me down there to cover the Nuggets.
that's fine.
And I also am not the biggest, like I'll self-admit, I am not a hardcore basketball.
Self-admit.
I am not, I don't know all that
Usually
much
I have
about
to admit
basketball.
things for him.
Right.
Self-admit is what I did that one time. I was a little shaky and I had to go spend a few days at the happy ranch.
I thought self-admit was what Colin was gonna have to do if he hadn't gotten that Greyhound story. Then he was gonna have to self-admit, yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm kind of, I think that they could do better at that position, but I don't.
Coaching position?
Yes.
I can do better in every position.
You can
That was a
be
beautiful way to put that.
diplomatic. As a sports reporter, you can say, well, I think everyone's always like, his rotations are bad. And I'm like,
No,
okay,
he's
that's
just
fine.
not that good of a coach.
Okay.
That's what I will say. But
I think that's what everyone's discovering. I don't think he's.
I mean, the end of game stuff, the last two games, it's been brutal.
It's one
just
thing
been
to have
brutal.
strategic differences with a coach in a league. It's another thing to watch a guy make unforced error after unforced error. You can't not call
The
that.
Celtics game was an unforced error, and he made a huge mistake not taking the time.
You should never
But
be
the way
down
that-
20 at home anyways.
The way the Spurs game ended, though, that was. I think everybody made the right decision. Barton just missed the shot.
If they've got talented guys in the team. They're very young. I understand they got a lot of young guys. They're inexperienced, but there's talented guys on that team. And I think a better coach would get a little bit more out of them. And I don't think he's getting that little bit extra out of them. And I think he needs to go. And obviously, he turned me off a long time ago. But I just think now we're starting to see, he's not that good of a coach.
I've just been disappointed with the lack of step Nikola Jokic has taken this year, and I
Yes.
think that is a big sign as well. And I like what Jamal Murray's doing. I like the progression of Gary Harris.
Jamal Murray is a bad motherfucker.
Awesome,
He's good.
awesome. But it scares me because Jamal Murray's reaching the level Jokic was at last year. But when does Murray take that next step? And I don't know if he can.
And that's what scared me at the end of the Spurs game. Murray had the ball in his hands and he kicked it out of the park. And I'm thinking, dude, if you're Russell Westbrook, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You take that thing to the rack.
He's
And
20.
you embarrass somebody. And he has the capability to do
He's
that.
20, so I back off a little bit on him. But at the same time, I feel like if I'm the coach of that team, I give him all. Hey, you're our guy. If you're going to take 40 shots a game, you're going to take 40 shots a game. I don't care.
But now they're running the risk of having a young talent plateau too early and not make that next leap.
Well, Jokic has to hit the weight room before he has to get it.
That's
It's kind of like your namesake, Michael Jordan. Like when he hit the weight room, room.
Yeah, way
that's
better.
like- Yeah.
Hopefully the weight room was the only thing he hit. Hit a couple times on the 21 table, you know.
Black jacket,
They're
cigars.
hitting it nonstop on the road back then. That wasn't even the thing. There's no social media, no one to bust them, no TMZ. They just had the time of their life.
Well, he was a killer.
But Jokic, man, he's got baby fat.
So listen, I feel bad that Jake's been dominating the show so far. So Drew, let's talk about The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is a terrible movie.
Oh, God.
All right, look, let's stop dominating. the
Okay, we gotta
conversation.
get into the second half. No, we got 5 minutes. No, seriously. So I got pretty hammered the other night, and I was watching a bunch of movies, and I watched The Dark Knight because I saw it when it came out, didn't like it then, and I thought I'm gonna watch this again, and I'm gonna prove all these nerds wrong, and watch it and say, yeah, this is a bad movie. This is not. It's not good. Now I say bad movie. It's certainly one of the better superhero movies that's been made. But people are saying like, Raj Sharon's like, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. And I'm like, dude, come on, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm with Raj.
I know you are. That's why I brought it up. Heath Ledger, fantastic. What just
Probably my least favorite part of that whole
wow.
movie.
It's the best part of the movie. The rest of it is like really just like kind of disjointed and just kind of.
I think actually the thing that bothers me most about that movie is that people remember it for Heath Ledger's performance, and I don't think people would remember it quite as much if he hadn't died. And I think he was very good in that role, but I mean, to the point that people are ruining movies.
He's
that are
using his
coming out
dead
now.
privilege.
Yeah, like people are like still like they hate on movies now because of Heath Ledger. Like people just couldn't even bother with the new stuff. So like, no, like I don't know. I just totally disagree. I think I once did my top 50 comic book adaptations of all time. I think there are quite a few of them that are very, very good, and it placed second on my list. And if you took Heath Ledger out of it, it would probably place like 10th or 11th.
Wow. See, that's comic book movies. So we're talking
And television
So
shows.
Raj is like, thinking like Godfather 2 is like it's better than those movies.
You said now you have to understand how much I fucking love comic book movies. So I actually would be in agreement there. I think I think people tend to put comic book movies in this weird category where it's like there's a lot of stuff that people wouldn't even know is based on comic book movies. We don't do it with stuff that's based on books. I think that's nonsense. So I think just because it's got a couple of characters in it that yeah, the guy's dressed like a clown, and the other guy's in a bat suit. Those are the only things about, especially The Dark Knight in particular. The only thing that differentiates that from essentially the way Godfather 2 is structured is that there's one guy in a clown suit and one guy in a bat suit. Other than that, it's standard crime drama.
I got you. Now, so here's the thing what I'm getting to. This kind of comes back to my whole transplant fan thing. Being young and learning to like the local teams. How old were you when The Dark Knight?
Oh gosh,
Came out in 2008.
Yeah, I don't know. So I was in college.
Everybody that loves The Dark Knight is right around your age. They love it, and I think it struck a nerve with a certain age of male, and they love it, and they can't say no. They stand by it no matter what. I'm pretty sure you're about the same age as Raj, and I think that's the thing.
No, I'm very, very big on going completely outside of my own time frame to dig stuff though. So like a lot of my favorite shit came out from like before I was born. I'm very well studied on this stuff. So no, I really don't think
I'm
there's
just
anything
saying
to
it
do with
struck a nerve. It struck a nerve.
Good.
Like Charlie Blackman striking nerve with a young 8-year-old who sees him and thinks he's great, and then Charlie Blackman can go on to be a serial killer, and he'll still love Charlie Blackman because he remembers that one time.
A serial killer with the Red Sox.
There is something about it that was, if you had been a DC fan and a Batman fan for a long time, and you lived through the 90s shit, like Michael Keaton was close, and then they put nipples on the back suit, and Val Kilmer and George Clooney, and all this other shit, and then Batman Begins was like, okay, we're on the right track, and then Dark Knight came out. So I think you're right, that at that moment in time, more than it being necessarily about the quality of the film, it was like, finally, this is a version of Batman that like Frank Miller was getting at in 1986, the year I was born, the best comic book written about that.
Going deep. Going deep.
That's also what I'm talking about. So it's like it was more a realization of the potential that we had seen for years and years and years that had never been fulfilled.
All right, I got you.
Michael Keaton was still my favorite Batman.
He was a good Batman.
And there are people of a certain age.
I want to point something out very quickly. Drew, look at Shaq. Look at this.
So-
Look at this little gray in the beard right here.
Get out of it.
That is going to be, he's going to look just like you in like 8 years.
This is happening now.
Yes.
Hey, okay, we gotta.
Right now it looks sophisticated, kind of classy.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually you're gonna look like a homeless guy.
Sophisticated classy, that's full on hobo.
A sophisticated classy hobo.
All right, well,
Then it goes straight into Santa.
let's get into
Right
the
after
second
that.
half. I had to give Drew his time because I know he was very upset with me the other day, and I had to give him his time so we can move on from that and talk about some other things. So we're already at the halfway point, and it's been flying by. So let's get back after this and talk some more stuff.
See my tweet about your whole thing about Batman, John?
Recorded in Denver, this song.
Who's that?
Future local band.
Oh, yeah.
Which album is this?
An airplane open sea.
So this is the same one that, is this their only album? I
No,
didn't think so. This is the one I've heard though.
this is the dude
This
with
was
the
here, right? Or McCoolidge knows.
No, this was a,
Yeah, this dude was from here.
no, this guy wasn't. The guy from Apples and Stereo lives here.
No, this guy was too. This guy lived here at the same time.
Well, they lived here like but briefly just to record the albums. The guy with the clean shoe from the movie theater, that was the guy from Olivia Tremor Control.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that was Will Cullen Hart.
That's right. See, that's how you remember when you get old. It all blends together. Just a tip. So you know.
Yeah,
Did I tell you about a painting of Will Cullen Hart? You got a cool shows. I bought a painting of this.
That's right. Okay. So it's all coming together now.
Same.
All right, we're out here.
Good fucked up. It's fucked up that I listen to music and there's this painting.
Safe. All right. We're still rocking. We're in the intermission before the
Oh, I
second.
forgot people. Is that still working?
It's still working.
Are you sure?
Oh, no, don't touch it. Look,
It's
here.
all
Here,
black
come
here.
Come here, look. Come here, look.
It's all black.
Come here, look. No, come here, look.
And there's a problem with that?
Look right here. See?
You're trying to sit.
Okay. You're messing with the music right there.
Jeez, what a delay that is.
I do, yeah, it's got quite a delay on it, but
I just hope. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These guys recorded this video here
so
in the city.
yeah, so Drew, every time I bring that up, people get really upset.
Sure.
And they're like,
Mhm.
are you fucking kidding me? What are you talking about? And I'm like, it's garbage. It's not good. You know? It's like all of his movies,
You know,
they go on way too long.
Yeah.
They tack on like an extra 45
He's not on the
minutes.
screen, but you hear him.
The whole Harvey Dent thing was just like, it's such a drag on the story.
So we're just
And
gonna
then,
play the audio of this. just
And
like
now
we
with
do.
the music, because like Raj was like, well, they set it up in the first part that he's so diehard for fighting crime, but then he gets stripped by the joke, and he's like, explain this to me.
And it gets
on
really
Twitter,
hard.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, just like, why did I lay it down?
Yeah, Twitter's not the best place to have that.
So,
I'm just,
I'll do a
I'm
read.
gonna jump in and be like,
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna jump out.
Trust me, I've heard worse when it comes to.
Let's skip
Sorry,
the.
flags and
let's
buttons
skip
and all
the-
that.
Yeah, I'm sure the fans are fucking aggravating, but it's, I get it.
I just don't like any of those movies. I think Christian Bale's good, like I
You
said.
still don't like Chris Nolan as a filmmaker?
No, I didn't
More
know
often
he-
than not, that's what it comes down to for people. It's like, I just don't like this.
How'd you like that
person's
one,
style.
like the X-Man dude and the little X-Man daughter, the little Wolverine dude?
Oh, that shit, that's, no, see, now that's
That's a
probably,
good movie.
when I did Dark Knight at #2, that Logan had not come out.
That was a
Logan
really good
is
movie.
probably my favorite
You
comic.
see like the theory on that
I
about how
really enjoyed
Oh,
it.
it's excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll love it.
the
I
genre
watched
of movie
it
and
already.
how like over time there's like a reaction.
I didn't know shit about.
I don't know who did this, but there's a theory on this, basically
It
where
probably helps,
once
little
a
bit
genre
of
has expanded its full capabilities, there's a response to it. And Logan is basically the response to the overpopulation of superhero movies.
Sure.
It's this first kind of direction in the anti-superhero movie, and we kind of swing back and forth with that, like kind of like how we had with Westerns.
Yeah, and sure, yeah.
Yeah,
And it is very.
The problem is that a
all over
superhero
the
movie
very
is
different.
yeah.
superhero is not a genre. Is the problem. Like that's the main difference is that like comic books and superheroes aren't a genre.
It
So
might be now. There's so many of them. There's we need
right, but
mass to become a genre, right?
Yeah, but the problem is that some of them are horror, some of them are comedy,
Yeah.
some of them are supposed to be romantic. A lot of the ones that have made it and are popular and successful right now are the action adventure superhero
Yeah.
stuff.
And the TV stuff, like my kids love that stuff.
Yeah.
They love like the Flash and superheroes.
Right, that stuff's great because it's a little bit of it's kind of genreless. It's
All
for
the
everybody.
CW stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are comic books that take place in the X-Men universe that are just straight up horror comics.
Yeah.
It's a totally different.
Like Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck was in,
Guardians of the
Guardians
Galaxy.
vs. Guardians.
That was the original Marvel movie, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Howard the Duck?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that was your original.
Howard.
I remember
So now,
that was awesome.
have you read the Old Man Logan stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's great, but
Yeah.
that was so different than Logan. The movie is kind of loosely based on that, but
Loosely.
they don't have
They
they don't
brought in
have
a
the
couple
whole
other
family
stories
and all
as
that
well.
crazy
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, so but those are really cool.
When they go onto the farm and they meet that family, that's from a different comic book.
Oh, is
That's
it?
from a different book. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one that is. I think it was from a Logan origin story that they had told. But that's one of the things I like about the potential for the comic book stories is like it's every 10 years, or sometimes 5 years, somebody else starts writing that comic book.
Yeah.
And if they're really creative, they'll totally change the tone of it. It'll look different. It'll feel different. And then it's like, it could even be about like different themes. You just have to have the character's basic story there and, you're fine. So
Well, I'm looking forward to new Howard the Duck.
there will be a new Howard the Duck.
You know, when I was a
I
child,
think he's gonna be in one of the new movies again.
when I was a child growing up in Chicago, we would take trips out to Colorado. So I got, doctored into the state. I saw Howard the Duck on a summer vacation in Vail, Colorado. And my brother and I, there's a little, I don't know if it's still there, probably not, I don't know. But there was a little tiny movie theater, maybe show 2 or 3 movies, and my brother and I went to go see Howard the Duck. And so Howard the Duck always has a Colorado memory.
I love all that shit. I've already got tickets for Black Panther and totally stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's already like,
How many times a year are you going to movies? A lot.
No, I mean, I'll go see the comic book stuff, but I don't even I haven't even seen Hulk yet.
Do you like Star Wars?
No, Thor,
Ragnarok?
Thor, yeah.
The Post was the
Absolutely.
first movie
Yeah.
I've seen in theaters
Ragnarok's
in
great.
6 years, 7 years.
Yeah. No, I
Oh,
go
hate
3 or
going to
4
theaters, but
times
I
a
always
year.
take my kids,
But-
go see the big screen. So all the Marvel shit, we go
Yeah.
see.
I actually went and saw Justice League instead of going to see Thor, precisely because I knew that more people were gonna like Thor and hate on Justice League, and I really enjoyed Justice League.
Wow. You and Raj was like, hey, you want to talk about movies sometime? I said, that's great. And I thought, Drew should just take my place. You guys can sit there and pat each other in the back. Fucking, be a great show. Be good stuff.
Okay, so
Wow, Froggy, come on.
So them dudes, yeah, I've been having a hard time with the voice. The dudes who did that little that video up in here that I told you about,
Yeah.
they brought all the lighting in and shit. We're gonna play that, just the audio side of it, kind of like we do with the Scoop thing. Just kind of, it's gonna be like a 3-minute interlude, and it's funny.
3 minutes?
Where does that Scoop thing come from, by the way?
You call him a Scoop?
It's like a real dude.
Scoop's a real dude.
Oh, dude. You don't know Scoop?
No, I've listened to the show and I'm like, this has to be like a parody.
No, he's autistic.
100% real.
He's an autistic. He's a friend of
I
mine.
mean, he's good. Like, that's
Oh,
not the
he's-
issue. It's just like, this is
He's
like,
really weird.
He's
Right.
He's got autism. He's got schizophrenia. He's got all sorts of stuff. But he's always wanted to be a newscaster,
fucking
and
awesome.
he's dressed like it from a young age.
Scoop is awesome.
And
I
he's
know
always
him.
wanted to do it. So he's very.
It's just like, and this is like a great compliment. He's such a character that I thought you guys invented him. You know what I mean?
No, you can't invent
It's like, it's such a great character.
That's too real, man. That's
No,
too
he's
real.
good, and like he'll say something, and it's legitimately fucking funny. We're
Right.
just like laughing.
If you're
Every
curious
time he's been
about,
on, he's been funny.
if you're curious about it, go into YouTube and type "Finding Scoop Nina," and there's a documentary about it.
Yeah, I knew him back when I lived in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, he's from the
briefly,
spring.
And he used to sell his poetry on the street, like in front of the Chipotle. And I bought poetry from him.
No
So
shit.
I've
That's
known
awesome.
him for like a very long time. How did you get connected with us here? I forget how.
We had the Colorado
That's
Springs
awesome.
thing in common.
Okay.
and he started.
I didn't-
I said I never thought to sell my poetry in front of the Chipotle. I
I
could have been living an entirely different life.
There's a coffee shop in Colorado Springs called Poor Richards, and the
Yeah.
owner of Poor Richards has the largest Scooby-Doo collection in the world.
Yeah, he's very.
He used to sell handwritten poetry. Now he word
We
products.
had him as a guest one time, and then every other time we got
And
him
he
called.
shot it for Colorado Open.
That's right, he did. Yeah, he's a character, all right. So we'd like to have him on the phone a little bit, you know, but,
Yeah.
but
I love me some scoops.
he's good, man.
He's awesome.
You gotta make sure to have him call in, next time we get it.
Well, I was going to this time,
All
but
right,
I knew I was doing
this.
this.
Are we gonna really get 3 minutes?
It's good. It's good.
3 minutes.
Alright.
Oh, for God's sake.
3 minutes to promote this bullshit?
Give these young comedians
All right.
their due.
Oh, wait. You're taking
Wait a
3
second.
minutes out of the mouths of our actual guests. I think I'm gonna pull executive privilege here and say no to this. I don't want this. See, you're getting a taste of what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know, man. I'm not.
Let's do it Gong Show style.
Oh,
And
yeah.
let's start.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
all
Gong.
four of you
You know what
gong,
Gong Show is?
3 out
I
of
know what
4.
gong show means in hockey, but I don't know what.
The Gong Show
Sounds
was
like it
was
needs
a
to be.
variety show where the celebrities would
You have
sit
no
there,
comment.
and someone would come out and do a thing, and if it was awful, they'd take a big thing and they'd hit the gong, and then they'd have to leave.
Bong.
So it's whatever with the red buttons before.
It's kind of like America's
Yeah,
Got
count.
Yeah, there you go.
I just subject to 3 minutes. I think 3
Okay.
minutes is an
Let's
excessive amount of time.
give it a chance. Let's start it, and we
This
can
is the
gong
next
it.
Adam Caton Howell right here.
These guys are all
Probably not.
friends. These guys are all friends of his, actually.
See,
They probably wish they could be as
Adam's a really nice guy.
Oh, yeah, he's been on our
funny
show.
as shit.
Is he been?
Oh, yeah.
I've been listening a lot more.
You know what? It was about. I just came up in time hop. It was about 3-4 years ago, around this time. I think he was on. We had him on the show back
Well,
in the old shop.
Yeah. And then the very first time we had him on, we had a power outage. So there's just the 4 of us hanging out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And he was genuinely,
But he
genuinely,
came
like-
back, he came back in the
and I
next
said, he was genuinely uncomfortable. he was just like, I don't know,
When he
guys.
did the show, he had a good time. We had a
Yeah,
good
it
time.
was good.
He loves his Rockies.
Yeah,
I'll
he
hang out
does.
with you guys in the parking lot any day.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Are we ready to do this? You got
Yeah.
sports?
No,
We're gonna do this
we're
and
gonna do
then
this,
sports.
and-
So we'll gong it.
Sake.
I know,
Just
I know.
roll with it.
We'll gong show. We'll gong show. Okay.
Listen, if Mike Peterson is listening, look at the fucking shit I put up with, Mike.
This is good shit.
Bullshit. That's what it is.
All right, are you ready? Wait,
Yeah.
are you ready? Hold on. All right. Gong. Come on.
Okay, we've gotten gone.
That's a
Check
quick
this guy.
gong.
They're white. You guys want to listen to this trash? I'll take 5. I'll fucking walk off this show. Walk
Check
off
these
this
guys
show.
out. Harris Alterman, and you can check them out on YouTube at the D League. We're not going to bore you anymore with it. Obviously, we've been gone by John, but check them out. It's
They can't tell on this, but the first joke is that they're white.
well, but you didn't,
Well, they are white.
You didn't listen beyond that. They kept other stuff about the colors, but anyway, Harris Alterman and Woody Roseland and their buddies at the D League. Check it out
Most
on.
uncomfortable moment in this
YouTube.
show's history. We did this.
Well,
so
you made it that way.
No, I didn't.
You made it that way.
We could have avoided this uncomfortable moment.
I'm just glad we were here to make history. That's what I'm.
You know, we can bring this moment to a better light.
We're about to. Let's do it.
Come on, sports! Here we go! Oh!
Sports are good. Sports are really good.
We had Ryan on here, and he had never done sports before.
Oh,
Yeah.
I listened to that.
Did it?
on sports.
So you guys, when you had the questions thing, you asked him, if you ever feel like when you're listening to Colin say these ridiculous questions that Patrick Smythe is on the other end? The first thing I thought of before you even asked that question to Ryan is like, oh my God, he's in trouble with Patrick Smythe. So yes, he was thinking that.
He was definitely thinking that. Yeah, he had never done it because the time before we had it, I think the sound was off. We didn't have good sound or something like that. Or he didn't get to do it for some reason. I don't know why, but he was happy to do it.
I think because I wasn't there. I yet to even
Oh,
meet
you
it
know,
because
you know,
I missed it now
You know,
twice.
I probably put it in late.
Yeah.
That is
fun.
Colin, I'm really sorry I didn't like your bit. I'm sorry. I can tell you're mad, and I don't want you to be mad.
Well, no.
I
I'm
want
not
you
mad.
mad.
No, I'm not mad at all. Maybe it wasn't a good fit for the podcast format, but I would encourage everyone to check it out. These guys have a Facebook page. It's called the D League, and they're young video maker comics. And the theme was that it's a talk radio show where the hosts are both named Jim, and all the callers are named Jim. And they talk about how much
Oh, man, I
they
wish
like
you would've
guys,
listened to
and
it.
it gets much more homoerotic toward the end. So
It's
if
homophobic
you
too.
homoerotic.
That's awesome.
So if you like boys who like smooth boys and you like local comedy, check it out. And
John loves
they
Smooth
did a good
Boys.
job. They did a good job.
Snyder was saying this was like the fight on Radio Row. With the dudes were fighting. They were fighting on Radio Row recently. You know about that?
No.
Yeah.
No, in Minnesota?
Yeah. They were like two radio hosts were getting into it.
Was Dino Costa one of them? It had to have been.
Hey, speaking of buying Twitter followers, the dude for the Sun-Times, I think Sun-Times, Richard
Yeah.
Roper, Sun-Times?
No, the other one.
Or, sure,
Not
George
Roper, but
Roper?
the other one.
No, Richard Roper is his name.
Was it Roper?
Is that his name?
Chicago paper, yeah.
Yeah.
Roger Ebert?
No.
It was Ebert.
Yeah, but
It
no,
was Ebert.
Ebert's dead. This is Richard Roper who did a show with Ebert. He got suspended because they said all of a sudden buying Twitter followers came to light, and they were like,
Dude, I was talking about this shit like 9 years ago.
and they were like, they suspended the guy because they found he bought Twitter followers. Now he may not have bought it, but as I defend Colin got Twitter followers bought for him.
I got it pointed at me.
You got them
By
sent.
the tens of
So
thousands.
you can get that sent to you without you can't do
At
anything
the
about it.
time, I had a notification setting in my Twitter that I would get notified of each new follower, and it was just I could see it was just constantly, all 24 hours a day, just going and going and going.
But I was gonna say, if somebody should
And they're all like Chinese prostitutes.
Yeah, if someone should get fined, I mean, and relieved of duty, it should be, Costa. He's got that's what started it. You exposed how many fake Twitter followers you got.
Yes, that's what started the whole thing.
Fun fact, Dino Costa, big fan of BSN.
I know that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. It stands me up all the
time.
Who's not a big fan of BSN Rock?
It's funny
Really
because I don't mean to expose Drew's politics, but I think a lot of people disagree with Dino Costa on a lot of different
Oh
things.
yeah, he's not.
So,
he's
Drew will sit there in the press box and Dino Costa will tweet. I'm like, great. And he's like,
Hold on, I just threw up in my mouth. Let me spit it out first. Yeah, that's a little questionable. I mean, it's great to have the coverage. But
Speaking of throwing up in your mouth, and speaking of BSN Denver, I think this would be a good time to introduce the Moran of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Al Moran, the loyal Twitter follower, and listener, downloader of the podcast. And God bless you. I'm so glad we have him.
and he'd be watching now, but he's asleep because he lives in
He lives in
Ireland.
yeah, far away. So Irish Al, this is for you.
No, he's not. Oh God, no, he's Scottish. Please,
Scottish Al.
Please don't.
Scottish Al. This is for you. This is this week's Moran of the week goes to Mike Chambers.
Wow.
Mike
You know this was
Chambers.
gonna come up. Oh, look at these guys. See, live feed catches. You guys can lay out. You know what the term layout is in jazz? You just kind of take a step back. You guys can lay out.
Just strum the
all I will
bass.
say is the BSN Denver group text messages had a leak.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure.
You guys listen. Just remember, you're on video, so your facial expressions might betray.
I can say stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
So-
Lay it out. Lay it
So,
out.
Mike Chambers went out on Twitter and he criticized members of, without specifically naming them, obviously, the BSN Avalanche crew, and talked about how basically "Step to Me, Bro" was the general message, and and you guys cover the Avalanche from your couch watching TV. Even though AJ Hapley was sitting 4 seats down from Mike Chambers at the game right before he wrote that.
How would you guys, sorry to interrupt you, Colin, how would you guys feel knowing that you guys are down at Coors Field all the time if one of those fucking Denver Post assholes claimed that you guys weren't there and you were watching it from your couch like how I watch it?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Wouldn't
for
that be
us.
offensive?
It's well, of course it would be, and it's so weird to us because like the guys we deal with at the Denver Post, say what you will about them, whatever. Patrick Saunders, like they're great to us. Nick Gross, like
awesome.
they ask us questions, so it would be really weird if they turned around and were like, "Hey, thanks for helping us out with the minor league
We had
players."
lunch with Thomas Harding on Saturday. Like we are very much friends with the people we work with.
They never
Well,
flag you off like
But
that.
isn't that just typical hockey?
Yeah.
It's just typical hockey. Like everybody's got to have a fucking beef with each other in hockey. Why make Mike Chambers decided to have a beef with hockey bloggers who travel with the team, like Adrian Dater and AJ Hapley? Absolutely beyond me. Obviously, I covered it for our site, and most recently, the most recent update to the story is he has disappeared. He's not been at skates. He wasn't at the Vancouver game, and nobody knows where he is. So does he have a cold like I do, or has he been put on some kind of administrative leave?
Like when Michael Jordan retired?
I called the sports section at the Denver Post and left a message.
You did not.
I did. I wanted to know, and nobody's gotten back to me. To me, I read into that. You know, it's interesting that nobody bothered coming back. But what I read into it is probably they did not think that was cool, and they did not think it put them in a good light. And it's worth mentioning that right after you guys went to your subscription model, which I thought was completely insane at first until I kind of thought about it, they went to their subscription model
For way more money.
and I'm sure the people who are responsible for social media management and customer relationship management were not too happy about the way.
You know, I will say, just based on some of the tweets I've had since we switched,
Oh,
to,
universally positive.
you know,
We have
we
one
have,
guy.
we have to watch, we have to be a little bit more careful about what we say. I've heard some comments back from my bosses about stuff on Twitter, and it's not like I'm saying that screw these guys over there that cover this team that don't even really cover it. I'm just making fun of random things.
Sure.
But it's like trying to not alienate your audience. When you talk about alienating your audience, I mean,
Especially hockey, where the fans have this, they already have this attitude like everybody in the sports world looks down on us. They're kind of like they're the redheaded stepchild of sports fans, and they see themselves that way, and therefore they're extra obsessive and they're extra in love with their sport and the coverage of their sport. And so when they see shade being cast from an older institution toward people who are working very hard to cover the game, I don't think that's a good look at all from the Denver Cover.
Everyone knows that AJ covers the Avalanche extremely well, and they know they're gonna get good stuff from him.
And Adrian Dater wrote the book on the
So love those guys or hate them, you know you're gonna get good coverage. So to say that about them is being intellectually dishonest. You're not being honest with your audience because you know that they cover them well. You know they're there, so it's bullshit. What got him in, well, I'm assuming what got him in trouble is then somebody was calling him out because he's the chair of the
National Hockey
Pro
Writers Association.
and because
there's one member, by the way, in Denver.
and it's him.
Yes, and he's the head of it.
And-
So
and
I wonder
that's-
what those meetings look like.
It's right. So AJ can't get credentialed because of this dickhead, right? And so that's what I think set this off. And so somebody was saying, "Hey man, that's not really cool." And someone was kind of sticking up for him, and said, "Yeah, that's not really cool. You're kind of chirping at these guys, blah blah blah." And then he brought the MMA thing up and was like, "Well, if you want, we can go at it MMA style. It's got to be legal." Well, I'm like, "What? Are you fucking high? Are you high? Are you seriously like talking about scheduling an MMA fight with some guy on Twitter because you don't like what he has to say?" And I just thought, this is insanity. And I will say that Brandon Spano is a lovely gentleman. His tweet today was from MMA to MIA. And I thought that was a really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn, I missed that
Oh,
one.
yes, that was good.
I missed that one.
But how crazy is that? Like now, Dater was kind of like that a while back when he worked for the
He
Post.
was too.
He got into it with people, and I
He
think
got into it with Spano.
yeah, and I think he obviously had a come to Jesus moment, and he did his.
Yeah, it's called unemployment.
And I think he kind of went, it's that. I mean, I'm sure he's still salty. That's great. That's how he should be. But I think that when
He's a hockey guy,
yeah,
of course.
He's bringing it, man.
when you get in that position and you're like kind of like threatening people to fight, it's like, man, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You don't need to chirp about a blogger who's watching it from his couch. You don't even need to mention it. Why do you even have to go there? And I think that's where you just kind of see like, oh, these guys are desperate. He knows he's gonna be out of a job probably in another year.
And that's what I'll say, and of course it's easy for me to say this, it's easy for me to be on this side of it, but if BSN Denver didn't matter, our names wouldn't be in their mouths.
Oh, absolutely not.
And so like when people are calling you out, or when people are trying to fight other people who are sticking up for you, like all that says to us is that like, not that we've made it, you know what I mean? Like, you've never made it. We're going to continue to push ourselves forward. But when we see stuff like that and people getting that upset over the fact that we just exist, it's one thing because, like, I had my kind of back and forth with Mark Kisla back in the day when I just was a blogger. And I went straight at him and I said, I don't like the way you're talking about the new media stuff. I don't dig it. He and I have worked that out since. I consider Kisla a friend now. We talk in the press box. He's a great guy.
Kids is great, actually.
No problems with kids. But that was just me, some dude, and he was totally open to the exchange. You know what I mean? Whereas AJ Hafley and Adrian Dater really, like, that's what stuck out to me is, like, if you can't recognize the contribution those guys are making, like, I can be humble about myself a little bit, but those guys and the job they do covering the Avalanche, that's
They are the best.
Nick Groke is who I immediately thought of when I was thinking of you guys. And I thought Nick is an awesome dude, and I never in a million years would I ever think he would say something negative about you guys because he's a cool dude. He's like, hey, whatever.
I go for beers after the game with Nick all the time.
He's a great dude, and I just thought that's the type of guy who would never do that. And Mike Chambers is the type of guy who would do what he did.
All I know is I want to be a fly on the wall the day that Mike Chambers gets fired at the Denver Post and has to walk into the BSN offices and talk to Brandon. I want to be a fly on the
I think they
wall.
got that covered. So, but yeah, Moran of the week. That's the Moran of the week right there, Mike Chambers. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Mike. I'm sure these guys are enjoying all the subscriptions they got over the
Hashtag MMA is legal. Great, best promo we've had.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, I saw Brandon tweet, we just had a record week of subscription, and it happened to be right in the shadow of that event. So nice job, Mike Chambers.
Nice job. And let me just say, and I was thinking about this today too. People are probably like, oh, more fucking BSN guys on the goddamn show, right? Well, listen, one, they all want to come on. They all want to come on.
And they're fucking good.
They're good.
And they have a lot to say.
They're interesting, and we appreciate that. We get a lot of people that have come on in the past. We try to get them on. I'm not going to mention any names, but they have. Maybe I'll mention it when we get off here, and I'll do it live.
They pay well too.
Us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we've had people that have been on here before, and they've just kind of dodged us a little bit since then. And none of you guys have dodged us. You guys have always come on and given great information on the show. And so I just think, like, if anyone's like, oh, more BSN guys, like, hey, these dudes come on. They want to do the show. We're gonna have a good time.
We should talk to them about the Rockies.
Speaking of information, we'll get to the Rockies. And I'll do this. Maybe I'll drop a little breaking news on the podcast. I know
that would be a first.
And
other than the fact that Scott's gay, that was breaking news.
Which is shocking with my wife and my kids.
Right.
Not really. Not if you're a Republican.
To finish up the Mike Chambers thing and get some more information, from what I've been told, things are going to change with how that operates over there with pro hockey players. So I think that the direction that the media is headed, especially as a 22-year-old wanting it to go in a direction, is a good one. And hopefully, and I really hope for the success of the Denver Post. It is important that the Denver Post.
Fuck yes,
it is important.
And it's crucial.
Right.
It's a public trust.
So
we need it.
Hopefully,
We absolutely need it. Not for sports. Not for sports.
No.
Somebody's got to be keeping an eye on the fucking government.
right. This does not matter at the end of the day.
No.
So.
But even to finish off on John's point, like the great thing about it is like now we get to travel and we're at every game. We've been at every home game for years. Now we're going to be going on the road. And we'll come on South Stand any time.
Nice.
So like it'll just be like, yeah, are we in town that week? We'll be there, and we need to be more accessible than those other
So
guys.
how does that work for you as for travel? Is it up to you, or are you gonna go to every game, or are you gonna split the time?
We've got a budget, and we'll figure it out, and we won't be able to go all of them. We looked ahead of time. We think about half of the road series we're gonna get out to.
We'll probably make it to 125 Rockies. Wow. What we're planning on, which is, you know,
What a life!
Once
What a
again-
life
Yeah.
for a 22-year-old or
I
a
know, this guy-
64-year-old.
Right, exactly.
Think about this. The
In the
week,
twilight of his life. He's living his dream.
That's right.
the week I graduate college, my work's gonna send me to San Diego, San Francisco, and LA. I'll have Rockies.
Oh
That ain't
God!
bad.
I hate this kid.
Yeah, he's obnoxious.
It's awesome.
He's obnoxious, but we love him.
I love life.
Let's get into the fourth quarter. We still got a lot to cover.
Fourth quarter.
I know.
I've only scratched like two
We should
things
talk
on
about
my
the
list.
Rockies.
Give Will Barton the ball.
We're gonna talk about the Rockies. Give Will Barton. Don't give Will Barton the ball.
Give Will Barton the ball.
No.
Let's see what happens.
We're gonna get into some Rockies right after this.
I know.
I've got a bunch of shit to say that I'm gonna say once I shut that down. I can't say it while that's going. Sorry, folks, I can't do it.
The second we saw the tweet, we knew it was good for us.
Oh, I mean that's yeah, it's gold, isn't it?
Yeah. Why would you?
Oh, and it made your fan base
So-
rise up.
So my own experience with that long time ago when I had a little newspaper that I ran, Bill Husted. You remember Bill Husted?
Oh
For the Rocky
God,
Mountain News?
I do. The
No.
society columnist for the Rocky Mountain fucking dude.
He was a society columnist for the Rocky Mountain News, and it was just really obnoxious, like him going, "Here's the hot people going on, it's all fucking old rich white people."
I'm having a hard time tying this one down. Here we go.
Yeah, okay. So I was just ripping him all the time in this thing. I just wrote this write the thing on the paper, and I just ripped him and just made fun of him. He was just an old man, right? He was probably fucking my age. Man. I don't know how old he was then. And so he fucking flipped out and wrote in the Rocky Mountain News about me and my newspaper.
That's awesome.
And I was like, fuck yeah! I was like, this is fucking the greatest thing ever. It was so awesome, and we just loved it. We printed it out and put it on the great cards.
Distributed.
Yeah, I'm just like, look at this, Rocky Mountain News.
Rocky Mountain News called me an asshole. Hell yeah.
Oh, it was great. So
Hispano should buy the domain name Rocky Mountain News. Just take it over.
Oh, it's
It's
not.
actually not a
available.
bad idea. Oh, it's
It's
not.
not available.
Tattoo. Everything's available.
Well, true. For $8,000.
$8,000 for RockyMountainNews.com.
I'll bet you that's
get in the
about
fourth
like
quarter.
that.
Hopefully you're still with us. Maybe not. I don't
I'll
know.
buy it. They'll take it in Hispano. Hire these guys. Right?
And yeah, we're gonna keep on rocking.
Angry white
Hope you're
man.
enjoying it.
Everyone's got a price, right?
Good stuff.
Everyone's got a price.
This is what happens when we're not doing anything.
You should have a price.
Shit.
I'm loyal, but I give a price.
That's how it goes.
It's a weird industry, man.
I don't know. I don't know how many people are fucking watching. I have no
At least Peterson, right?
Oh, I don't know. He went to bed already. I'm sure.
Is he at Super Bowl over there?
Lifting weights. Who's that?
Peterson?
Mike Peterson?
Yeah,
Will Peterson, I was thinking.
Oh no, I have no idea.
Is Mile High Sports at Radio Row?
Yeah, I think
Lundy
I
is.
think so.
Yeah, I saw Lundy
I
too,
think
right?
Lundy said he.
Lundy's a good dude. I met him for the first
Yeah.
time a few weeks
Oh
ago.
yeah, I never met him.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I was told we look alike. Is that true?
Without the beard, yeah,
Yeah,
I can see
that's
it.
what I'm
He's
saying.
younger, but
What? Somebody's younger than me?
right? No shit.
A little bit.
I don't know. I like what Colin had to say. I mean, TJ's my guy. I mean, I loved when he worked with BSN. I love Christian. Christian's my guy too. Like, I love both of those guys. But TJ's doing a great job covering about this.
Yeah.
Just texting him the other
And those guys do a great
Oh,
job.
look at that.
Jeff.
Marcelo Duran is
Jeffy.
hitting us with
Jeff is fucking awesome.
info. That,
Marcelo.
Anschwitz owns the Rocky Mountain domain name. How about that?
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Marcelo Duran.
Is he watching?
Apparently, I
He's
guess this
watching.
is all
Okay,
kinda
thanks for watching, buddy.
got
Okay,
incognito
I'm
and
doing good.
in the hizzle.
There's an old picture of me on this desktop without a beard. I got,
Oh.
see that?
My kids are real young there, so that it was many years ago. And
Unbearded.
unbearded. Proud.
This whole live thing's
Come
kind
on.
of fun.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, we talked about it for so long, and I'm glad we're doing it.
Yeah, it's that's what Snyder said. He's like, hey, you do this all the time, I'll watch it. And that's the thing. It's like maybe somebody doesn't listen to podcasts, it's just not part of their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they're sitting at home, doing whatever to themselves.
Yeah.
I
know what you're doing.
Self-admitted.
Self-admitted.
Yes.
Not pretty.
No, I looked at that the other day, like I sent out a podcast. We do the daily podcast in the off season. I do a couple articles a week, but it's like when it's a podcast, I can just shoot the shit, and then someone can ask me a comic book movie question. I can talk about that for a minute. It's all good. People understand on the podcast. I can't extend my article by talking about why The Last Jedi actually was good for a minute. Like I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like and secondarily, but someone's like, you should write everything up you say on the podcast in article form because some of us don't have time to listen. I was like, dude, I wish I had the time to transcribe all these podcasts or something.
Oh, yeah.
You know how long that would take?
Just get Google to do it for you.
Does Google
Does it do
transcribe
that?
shit?
I think it does.
You gotta pay for that service or, because I would.
I have no idea. I think you just spit it in, it spits it out.
My least favorite part of this job is transcribing audio.
Oh, it's fucking
I
awful.
hate it.
Dude, it's the worst.
And like Bud Black is phenomenal to listen to in the moment, but 20 minutes and 7 of them are filled up with him talking about guys he played with in the 80s, you know, and it's interesting, but I'm just like, get down the next fucking.
Just and any time I've done like a sit down interview and I've had to transcribe it, it's just so fucking awful. And I don't think there's any technology for that because I see people talking about what a bitch it is.
It's a pain in the ass. I would have loved to have done it with our Nolan Arenado interview, and it was only 15 minutes. 15 minutes with Nolan. I'd love to just transcribe that whole thing and put it up. It's like, it's gonna take forever, and he talks fast because he's got that like ADHD thing. So transcribing.
Wait, so good on the base.
The only place he's 100% focused is in that batter's box. That's why he's certainly in the field, but like when he's out there in between those lines, man. And that's why when it's in the clutch situations, why he's so much better than other people. They don't realize there's a reason for it. It's the counterbalance to his ADHD. He can't focus on shit.
And what's he doing?
With Nolan? Just like I don't know if there's anything he does. He just says that like
I can attest to ADHD too.
that he totally gets calm. It's like all the scattered thoughts, and then he steps into the batter's box, and they'll go away. He has to focus on one thing. And it's like the more intense the moment, the clearer the focus becomes. When he hits like 400 with runners and scoring.
So like when you have ADHD and you really like focus in on something, this is how it was when I pitched. The ball, like your sense would be like 150, 150.
Yeah.
Like when I hit, it would look like the ball was a beach ball compared to like, because I could see, it was like I could see every lace spin. It was the most intense thing ever. Meanwhile, when I'm in school, I literally can't sit in class for 20 seconds without fidgeting with my phone or some shit.
Yeah.
So
When I'm playing hockey, I can't it's almost kind of the opposite. Like I don't remember. Like I scored a goal the other night, and I just it's almost like I blacked out. You know what I mean? And I can't tell you what I did after I saw the puck go in. It was almost like it was like
Your brain can't keep up.
it's kind of what it
too
is.
fast.
see, for me, like I could tell you when I was hitting if I hit the side of the baseball with the stamp on it. Like it was like the most intense thing.
Wow.
Yeah, but like meanwhile, when I'm like doing school, I can't remember anything. I don't care.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
the worst.
Because you're either in the zone or you're zoned out.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And it's intense, and I understand where Nolan's coming from. It's a really cool thing.
I want to talk about going my spring training trip and how fucking expensive it is.
What time of year, or when are you going?
Late May.
March.
Late March.
What week?
May.
What week?
All right. Yeah. Well, I got the Reds, the Cubs.
Because we're gonna be down there too.
Oh yeah.
Well, hopefully I'll see you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do Reed, and then you're gonna play music.
That works.
Yeah.
Do that.
Do that. Trying to find that,
Fourth
freshman
quarter.
track. Nice. Hooligan's back.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, guy incognito. You finished the whole 40?
I did, man.
Hooligan's back.
I'm an old Robin.
Where's he back from?
I don't know.
Back from the dead?
I'm not sure.
There's that nonsensical bowler with high ABV shit, so.
All right.
250.
I drank those beers.
You're the only problem with that shit is the calories.
See
It
this
doesn't
shit?
matter to
Yeah,
you.
yeah, no, I know.
I drank these beers on Friday night. It was it's a Denver brewery. They're like into like rivers and rafting. They donate. It's called like
Yeah, one of those.
Cool River or something. And it's good beer. And I was like, I just drink because of Captain Bronco. I've been drinking more IPAs.
Right.
Have you had
It's got the
lager
bang for the
units?
buck. You know about the bang for the buck, right?
But well, let me tell you, I got some bang for my buck.
Wait,
because-
should we save this for the podcast?
Nah, that's fine. I didn't look at the label, and I fucking knocked back 5 of them while I was watching Dark Knight
And
and
like
like
7-8% off.
8.5.
Yeah.
And the next morning, I was like, oh my god! I was like, why am I so hungover?
That's the magic of IPA.
No, it's
That's what I'm saying.
well, it was my fault. It's not my fault.
It's also the
my fault.
evil of IPAs.
It was evil, and I got up and I went upstairs and it was the one can left. Thank God I didn't drink that
Well,
one.
for someone who doesn't know.
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
you know.
You gotta go in knowing, yeah.
I looked at it and I was like 8.5. I was like,
I have a
that's
problem,
not
like,
shit.
when I go out to, like, I don't go out very much anymore, but when I go out, I drink like I used to drink, you know,
Yeah.
like I have like, 22 bourbon and cokes or something like. Nah, I don't.
22.
It's all-
I used to. That was back in the old days before college.
That's how the Alamo Bowl was for me. Last year was the night before the Alamo Bowl. I go down there, right, and all the Buff fans are buying drinks, and I'm at sea level, and I've just been down there for one day.
You're like,
I swear to God,
Yeah, I think all of you.
I drank 75% more than my limit of throwing up here. Did not throw up. Was drunk as shit for literally maybe until the game the next day, and I've never drank that much. Like the dude that was gonna spend $2,000 on the bar.
Wow, that's a
Literally
lot
just
of
kept
money.
buying, right? Just kept buying Buff fans
Rich,
drinks.
rich CU kids.
It was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
See, we were at CSU Fort Collins. We went to Tony's home with Stiffy. Yeah, and it was like dollar Stiffies, on Tuesday and Thursday nights, and you bring like $30 with you. And,
Yeah.
I don't
Good
know
times.
about a dollar stiffy.
Good time. I don't know if that place
Collins
exists
gave something
anymore.
like $1.
Get a hand job for $7.
You doing a read?
The home of the Stiffy. That was truly their slogan.
$7 hand job at the Sport Cheek Studio.
Happy.
All right, you guys ready to do this?
Yes.
I'm ready when you are. Are you ready?
Ready,
I'm
ready,
on
ready.
First?
I'm ready.
Okay, hit it.
Sportique is where scooters come from. And springtime is right around the corner. Oh my God, I can't wait. I know you can't wait either. Ride a scooter to the baseball game, man. Park at a bike rack outside with a 50cc scooter from Sportique, where scooters come from, right there. Super showroom at 160 South Broadway. You don't want to miss out. Denver's a scooter city. You're a scooter dude. Check it out. Don't feel like you're going to be a pussy. It's not a pussy thing. It's fucking awesome. And it's bike lane legal. Grab a 50cc scooter at Sportique, where scooters come from, and tell them the South Stand sent you.
This is off the new Ty Segall record, by the way.
Oh, I've heard some of that. Yeah.
And it's first of probably like 4 or 5 albums this year. But pretty rocks. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I love me some Ty Segall.
I like it. I wanted to mention really quick. I know you guys are big CU guys. There is an untapped market for CSU coverage. Because believe it or not, people like CSU stuff, right?
Huh?
You guys know this?
There's like 15 or 20 dudes nationally
So look,
way into it.
you guys know that CU has a big following. You guys, BSN kind of backed away from CU stuff for the time being, to concentrate on other things.
but you know that people they're thirsting for CU stuff, right?
Yeah.
You can fucking do a CU podcast when the Buffs or the football team's playing, whatever the hell they do up there. So
Playing.
yeah.
Yes,
CSU has a big fan base too. Now, whether you want to admit it or not, they have a big fan base and people are into it. Now, it's awful. I don't follow this bullshit.
The problem is they can't afford computers.
It's true. Now, I went to CSU. I went to CSU as well, and I probably went to maybe 3 football games.
Oh, I went to a bunch.
Did you?
Well, they had, you could have like kegs in the parking.
You were also
That was-
like kind of out of control in college.
My college experience was similar to Scott's, or is similar to Scott's, I should say.
Out of control.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, I got out of control. I just didn't do it.
Boulder was kind of nuts.
Yeah.
It was fun to go down to Boulder and.
It's really tough to drop acid at the football game.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you.
All
a
I'll
quick
say is
story.
that players on the senior football team have done that during the football games.
I'm sure they have.
That would be awesome.
Let me tell you the
Yes.
story. So the first year that CSU went to a bowl game, I want to say it was like the Freedom Bowl. This is like we're talking like
It's the smokable.
we're talking like 91 or 92, I think. I don't know when it was. And they went. It was the first time they went to a bowl game in forever. And so
Sonny just got to town. I think
I think Sonny was there. Yeah.
I think Arizona was picked by Sports Illustrated to be the best team in the nation in CSU beat.
I don't know about that.
I remember that whole.
But so they had a
situation.
pep rally at Moby Arena, and they said, "Hey, come on out." This is like right as Christmas break was going down. They said, "Come on out to the pep rally at Moby. We have a football team there. It's going to be awesome." So we took some mushrooms. We're like, "Let's go to the pep rally on mushrooms." And so we went out there, and we're fucking tripping, sitting there, and like just going, "Oh my God, this is crazy." A bunch of stuff happened. There was like this kind of drunk Santa Claus stumbling around. And then at the end, at the end of the thing, everyone's like, "Yeah, pep rally, CSU." It looked like the players were coming through the crowd to get me and like climbing up through the crowd. And I was like, "Oh fuck, man!" And I was like, "We gotta get out of here." And that's basically how it ended. I was like,
That was
"Shit,
probably
fuck
Joey
out."
Porter coming back.
I might have been. Yeah, I just remember them like looked like they were coming through the crowd, and I was like, "Well, we gotta get the fuck out of here." So that was kind of my CSU sports experience. But I bring it up.
It's not a wonder you didn't do more.
Yeah, it's a wonder. I bring it up, and actually, when you and I went up a couple years ago to the CSU basketball
Do you
game,
have flashbacks?
that was the first. Yeah, it was in there. Yeah.
Whoa!
So I just bring it up because our buddy Snoop Cow, you know Snoop Cow? You
Oh,
guys
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
Snoop Cow? You know Snoop Cow? I think you know. He started a CSU podcast, but he won't.
What?
Yeah.
He did? I don't know
He
about
won't advertise it because it's not right yet. You know, it's not right yet. He's done 3 fucking episodes and he won't promote it because it's just not right
I'm
yet.
sure he's got Jake blocked on Twitter. I'm certain of it.
100%.
I'm 100%
Oh,
sure of
because
this.
it's a CU guy. Nah, he probably haven't blocked you.
See, I'm not that much. I don't care about CU football. That's where people mistake me. I love CU hoops. I don't care about CU football, but it's just so funny to get under CSU fans' skin. It's just
Oh,
so
sure.
fun.
We don't. We,
But they're 2 different leagues, though. It's like, saying, "Hey, my professional league team is
And-
way better than your minor league."
Right, and me and you, we can talk about it because, like, I can be like, all right, CSU is respectable and what they do, whatever. But it's the CSU fans that are like, we're just as big time as CU that are like, all right, I'm gonna make fun of you.
All the CSU fans need to say is, "Hey, our coach's daughter never fucked any players."
Oh, wow. Okay. Anyway.
But are
so-
you sure?
So
Are you sure?
he's got a podcast, and I said because he was sending me messages going, "Hey, you know, what should we do here?" And I was listening to it a little bit. I was helping him out, I was giving him some advice, you know. And I was like, "Hey, man, come on, you know, throw this thing out there, tell people about it. I'm sure there's lots of people that want to hear about CSU.
at
stuff."
least 12.
At least 12. And so yeah, and he was at 10. He wanted to get to 12 listeners. So I said, I'm gonna fucking promote your goddamn podcast. I'm gonna tell everybody about it and make them listen to it. And you're not gonna be able to do a damn thing about it. So I was trying to force it out to, you know, get him to do it. Sounds great. They do a good job. But you know, it's CSU. I said, I don't want to listen to it. I don't care about this.
I'm going to promote it. I'm not going to listen
Listen,
to
I
this.
thought I'd promote it. So it's called the Ram Sanity podcast.
Oh.
Ram
Yeah,
Sandy.
I think they're at
That's not
Ram.
bad.
Ram
That's not bad.
They're at Ram Sanity Show on Twitter.
If they
No, I'm
want me
definitely
to-
not following it either because I'm not following that shit.
No, no.
But I thought I'd promote it for the guy because you know he's a good dude.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Snoop Cow's awesome.
Yeah,
He
so-
met us at the baseball game, like last year or the year before. And we
Yeah, I met him at a couple.
bought us a
Stock
couple
fans for
drinks.
Fantasy football league too.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought I'd turn people onto that. So go listen to it. You know, I don't know. You can find it on SoundCloud. I think it's on there. iTunes, you know, that bullshit. So I thought I just bring it up. So hey, before we're gonna have to go overtime, obviously, because we're already getting close to it.
We should talk some Rockies.
We're gonna talk some Rockies. So
I want to couch this in terms of my spring training trip.
please.
Up there.
It's so expensive now. Oh my God! Like a few years back, I went out to spring training in Scottsdale, and it was a reasonably
One, you said Scottsdale?
Scottsdale. It was a reasonably priced experience for myself and my son. He was 12 at the time. He's 16 now, so it was 4 years ago. And I'm like trying to book hotels and they're like $50 a ticket for spring training
It
games.
is nuts.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
You
It's
need to
gonna
go
be
back
like
to high court.
we're going for 4 days. It's gonna be like $1,500. That's not a bargain trip for a dad and his son. That's what I was looking
Spring
for.
training should
And
be
my wife's,
cheap.
it's all hanging over my head now too. My wife's like, well, we could have spent this money on a family vacation. I'm like, all right, let's just cancel the whole fucking thing and spend it on a family vacation. Oh, no. No, it's important that you bond with your son. I'm like, which is it? So
I was looking at tickets to Paris for like $350 round trip.
I know it's
That's
more
what you should do.
expensive to go out to Scottsdale for a
Why don't you
spring
fucking
training.
why don't you drive?
Yeah, drive it, man.
Yeah, nothing's ever gone wrong when someone drives to Arizona.
I've done that for many times.
Yeah,
That makes the 3-day trip
For the
about
record, it's
6 days.
pronounced, where for?
Fairfield, yeah, Fairfield.
Listen, just get
We
a
were
newish
so
car.
wrong.
Get a newish car.
I've never believed in luck until
I
that.
spent time in Colorado City, know all about it.
You guys are probably staying at an Airbnb while you're out there,
Exactly
right?
right, yeah.
Man,
I wish I had done that.
Yeah.
'Cause that would have been a really good idea.
Those
Instead we're
tickets,
staying at like the Motel 6. It's like $100.50 a night for a Motel 6.
yeah, no, do the Airbnb thing. But you're right though, those tickets, I mean, even since I've been going, the last 4 or 5 years, I've been going down there, the tickets have gotten out of control, especially if they're playing the Cubs or something. Or
Right. And
somebody
one of the
decent,
games I'm seeing is at the Cubs Park.
Nah,
And I paid
no, you're not.
I think
Yeah.
$50 a seat
For
to
a
stand.
for a game that doesn't count.
So,
Can't you
Yeah.
cancel your hotel and then get an Airbnb?
Probably so at this point, yeah. It's still a couple months away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it hadn't occurred to me to look into a Airbnb. I booked the whole thing through Travelocity. It's like $1,500 for 4 days.
That's brutal.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much for that.
I'll tell you what though, if you don't want to pay those tickets, first of all, don't go to see them when they're playing anybody good, because that'll screw you up. But going out on the backfields, it's free. It's still baseball. You can watch 4 games at one time. Go to the backfields. You don't have to pay anything. Yeah, they're the minor league guys, but if you're going late in the season, then all the next guys, we're going to be there. I've seen great players playing on the backfield.
Coming up.
John Gray playing on the backfield. So you want to watch that dude? You want to know the next guy? They're all back there. You can watch them for free. You can sit 5 feet away from them, and then you get their autograph as they're walking off the field. You can go talk to them
Yeah.
about them just pitching. So you want a spring training experience? Don't pay $50 to see them play the Cubs, or just walk 50 feet the other direction. Hang on to the backfield.
Or take a trip to Grand Junction.
$3 beers.
You can see, Tapia and all those guys.
So let's,
Sounds like I've done this all wrong.
so let me tell you this. So I want to talk a little Rockies, obviously, and I want to talk about some of the guys that we
I'm so fired up for this
It's
team.
gonna be great. Now I want to do this thing. I want to run this by Span. I think it's a good fit. So every week I go and I go talk to my mom, and so my mom's in her 80s. She hates the Rockies, but I talk to her and I go, hey, how about that Rockies game? Oh, it's Rockies. She's always upset. She's totally upset. She fucking hates them. So I
So
think
she hates it because your dad spends money with you. That's the issue.
that's it. No, she just can't. She thinks they're losers no matter how well they do. Like last season, I'm like, they did so great. This was such a great. Oh, those Rockies, and she's just upset. Right? She's pissed off all the time. So I think getting an update from her every week is what I'm going to do. I'm going to film it. I'm just going to say, hey, how about the Rockies? No matter what they did, and then she'll be like, that. What she called? She called out. I'm getting the thing mixed up. So she calls Ottavino. She calls him Ottavino. She calls him something wrong. So she mispronounces the names all wrong all the time. So it's very hilarious. But I think that's a little feature I'm gonna try to get going.
Like, I put it up on the site every week, I'll tell you that one. I would do that. I would check the spam, I guess, but if I need his,
You don't need this.
I don't need his approval. I'll tell you, my favorite article that we did last year, my personal favorite was one that Jake wrote that was after the Rockies finally clinched, because we've been keeping up with this, going back to the Mike Chambers. The stuff people say on Twitter when they're so sure of things. And we had been in on this before the season started. We knew where the team was going. Jake and I follow them very closely in case you guys,
Sure.
what.
We had you had 85 wins, I had 86, and I won 87.
Yeah.
So we knew exactly what they were. We both had them in the playoffs, losing to someone in a wild card game. You had who?
I had the Mets.
And I had the Mets too.
Yeah.
So we both threw that up. But everything else we had right.
And so we're getting down to the end of the season, and all throughout the year, we got people coming to us like this situation. Oh, they're not gonna. No matter what the Rockies do, they're never gonna be good. They're never gonna be. And then the final month of the season, they're not playing especially well. Every time they took a tough loss, we would just get a stream of tweets after games, just angry. And Jake and I just started keeping them, and we knew. And I don't know if you guys saw the article, but we published it when they.
Did you get any from John? Because John was pretty down.
I don't think I was that.
Yeah,
down.
sure.
I did see that.
Snyder
article.
or so down.
It was awesome.
Not down.
We had a very specific rule because we were deciding how to do this, and it wasn't just you get down, because you get down after a bad game. Sports fans, we're not trying to pick on anybody.
Hey, you said they weren't going to make the playoffs.
You had-
I was the only one sitting here.
John
Oh.
did not, no, John did not say that explicitly. Anyone
On
who
the
said
show
it
he did.
explicitly
Oh,
on Twitter,
if we had it in writing,
we would have put it. Anyone who said explicitly on Twitter, they will not make the playoffs, we put it in that article.
Thank you.
But they didn't make the playoffs.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
they
did. You guys tell me, is a play-in game the playoffs?
But it
It's
wasn't
not a playing game. It's officially a playoff.
it's a wild card
It's a
game.
wild card one playoff game.
Which is a bunch of crap. So,
Correct.
I would assume you guys are down with the idea of shortening the season to like 152 games, something like
I'd be
that.
for it. It's never gonna happen.
I don't care.
But why not? Because it used to be that way.
Money. That's why not. They'll make way less money. That's how many fewer
I don't
games you
think
got to
so.
sell 40,000 seats.
Because,
And $9 beer.
Yeah.
but you can add maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9 extra playoffs.
Okay, Scott, here's the deal. Every time they cancel a game due to a rain delay, the Rockies organization approximately loses $1.25 million.
Oh, yeah, they don't like.
That's
But
why they
a
do not.
playoff game is worth more.
Sure, but not. But in baseball, half the teams don't. It's more than half the teams don't make the playoffs. So some of
Sure,
those
yeah.
teams are going to make more money. Most of the teams are going to make way less.
So you're going to take away, let's say you make that wild card game a 3-game series instead of a 1-game series and you're playing a 154 game season. Okay, so now all of a sudden you have 4 teams playing 2 more games rather than the other 28 playing
Yeah.
approximately
Yeah,
whatever.
but like Pittsburgh has like 4,000 people there.
No,
So,
Pittsburgh does pretty well.
There's
The only thing-
someone who's out.
Okay, so but Tampa Bay won't have anyone there. But
Sure,
even
yeah.
those meaningless games in Milwaukee, there's still going to be 25,000 people there. The last games of the year when the Rockies,
There's not going to be meaningless games in Milwaukee this year.
there won't
No.
be this year. But the last games, the last 2 years in Coors Field when they were meaningless, when they were 68 wins a year,
Yeah.
there's still 30,000 people there buying beer, all that
That's not
stuff.
because the Dodgers are in town. And they're screaming,
But
let's
still,
go
that
Dodgers.
makes
So,
them money.
you know what's interesting about the Dodgers fans is that they buy the cheapest seats that they possibly can.
Because they're poor.
And they pour. And then the Raiders fans, because they were, remember the Dodgers and the Raiders were both in town at the same exact weekend that last.
They just
wild.
wild.
Double
So,
trouble,
so,
baby.
so you saw people in Dodgers uniforms and Raiders hats. It was so disgusting.
Oh, the worst kind of humans.
They were like,
Obviously brown people.
so they're like 4 or 5.
I take my worst human comment back, by the way. I immediately come back and attack out at the end of it. Hey, what just happened?
So behind the seats, you know, like behind like home plate, like row like 50, whatever it is, way back there, they're like 4 or 5 rows deep of Dodgers fans and chanting. You just hear the
Yeah.
echoing going through.
You know what I do? I'd have the Coors Field. I'd be a Coors Field usher. I'd dress as one. I'd have an X-ray gun, and I'd walk by and X-ray all the balls and be like, "Hey, sirs, are you having a good time here?" And I'd be X-ray the balls so they couldn't reproduce.
See, John's all about the long game. He cares about the next generation. He doesn't really
I'm
care
like,
about
let's-
this.
let's- I don't want to kill them. I just want to make them sterile so they don't
The
reproduce.
same thing with the transplant fans.
Absolutely.
Dodger fans are fine. It's Dodger spawn.
Oh, I don't want- those poor kids, they don't have a chance. So let's talk about the Rockies and how they're going to be structured this year. So they got all these young guys coming up, right? And so all these young guys are going to be competing for spots. We don't really know who the first baseman is, right? And so we want to maybe see if one of the young guys is coming. Who's going to be on the team, the starting roster that maybe wasn't last year, in your guys' opinion?
I mean, I think Ryan McMahon's going to be the first baseman. So I know he finished the season with the team, but I think he's going to be on the roster one way or the other. He will be there to start the season.
If you guys don't know who Ryan McMahon is, he was one of the top prospects in baseball. It's a second-round pick for the Rockies out of Mater Dei High School. He's actually their starting quarterback. If you know anything about football, Mater Dei High School, Matt Liner went there. It's a very famous football school. He's a hell of an athlete, maybe the best athlete in the Rockies organization is Ryan McMahon, and he can play a bunch of different positions on the field. Was one of the Rockies' top prospects, had a very bad year, 1 year in Double-A when his team played not a single home game because there was no stadium in Hartford. So there was some reason for that. Came back last year, was one of the best hitters in minor league baseball between Double-A and Triple-A. In fact, there was a time in Triple-A where he went 14 to 16 at the plate over the course of like a 4-game stretch. And
That's almost impossible.
while he was doing all of that, by the way, he was learning how to play second base. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be the first baseman.
If, the first baseman.
if things go the way they want them.
Now, Drew, I know you love you some Ron Maltopia.
Yes,
Is he on starting roster as the?
I think he's got a good chance. The only thing that I think is going to stop him from doing that is if David Dahl shows up in spring training and just absolutely destroys. I don't think they want to start Gerardo Parra. I've seen a lot of people saying, and that's kind of the fill-in right now. He's the vet. You go, yeah, you put him in right field. I don't think they want to do that. Bud Black made it clear at the end of the season last year that Parra's got a bit of an endurance problem. He's a perfect fourth outfielder, leave him where he is. It's going to be Tapia or
Or
Dahl.
shortstop or second base. He can play any position on the field.
Yeah, move those guys around. But I think Ryan Tapia has not only a decent chance to take over in a starting role, but to, at some point, maybe starting the season, take over for Charlie Blackmon as the leadoff hitter, so Charlie can move down a little bit, bat third, bat fourth.
And the Rockies have made a huge change in this. They've very hard lined the idea as Charlie Blackmon as the leadoff hitter the last 5 or so years. This year they're starting to leave breadcrumbs that they're thinking about moving him out, which is a significant turn of events. I don't necessarily love it. I don't think it really matters at the end of the day that much, as long as you still have Charlie Blackmon in the lineup. That's what matters most. But you're looking at Ryan Tapia, and he's the future center fielder of the Rockies if things go right. And the rest of the Rockies lineup around him, what they really need is, Drew's written this article, whether it's Trevor Story, David Dahl, Ryan Tapia, or Ryan McMahon. They need one of those guys to step up to be. It's Charlie Blackmon, Nolan Arenado, and that guy.
If
They
we
need a
take
third guy.
Charlie out of the leadoff spot, I feel whoever takes over it needs to have the same leadoff song. Just because everything's
So good.
like perfect.
What about Rogers? Is Rogers going to play? Is he going to be?
He came out today or yesterday and said it is my goal to play for the major league team.
Well,
in
he's
2018."
shortstop, right?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
he
yeah.
shortstop? Does he play everywhere?
I mean, he's
He's
a
a
shortstop, second baseman. He can,
He's
you know.
a shortstop that they're going to end up moving to second base.
Yeah.
That is the verdict. And it's not that because he's bad defensively. And that's the bad thing about it is Brendan Rodgers is good enough defensively where he can play shortstop, and obviously not many people are. So that's surplus value. If you have a guy that can hit 325 home runs and play shortstop, that's extra value. So now you move him to second base, which is a position a lot more people can play. You're losing value. The issue is that Trevor Story, and this isn't really an issue, turned himself into a Gold Glove caliber shortstop last year. And what you have in Trevor Story, even though people said he had a sophomore slump, he actually really didn't. Maybe at the plate for the first month or so he did. Trevor Story is already better than what Brendan Rodgers can be for the next year or two, and no one is higher on Brendan Rodgers than me. I think this is going to be a superstar. But it's going to take some time for him to come into his own major league shortstop level, and you have some opportunities to get him in at second base. And this is a guy that will be on the team.
Where do you put LeMahieu?
LeMahieu's contract is up at the end of the 2018 season. And I think there are some signs, whether you see Ryan McMahon moving to second base, Forrest Wall was drafted kind of to replace DJ, or Brendan Rodgers. You have some guys that can be there. DJ's a great Rocky, obviously, but Brendan Rodgers is the level of talent that is rare in Major League Baseball. The one that goes, okay, this is a guy that not only can replace my starter, who is an all-star worthy guy, borderline all-star worthy guy, but be a superstar at that position. And that's how good Brendan Rodgers could be.
But they're not going to trade Story or try to move him somewhere else.
No way. Trevor's got so much potential. It's like even if he stays right where he was last season, like Jake was saying, if you consider the sophomore slump or whatever, if he stays right there as like Gold Glove caliber defense and 25 home runs from the shortstop position, like even if he hits 220, you'll take that because nobody else has shortstops that are doing that. The only place for Trevor Story to go is up.
Or to the end.
Love that.
They could make that mistake, but as we're seeing with all these labor problems, all the reason these Jake Arrieta isn't signed, Eric Hosmer isn't signed, the reason why all those guys aren't signed is because there are players out there like Trevor Story who's making nothing and has the potential to be a superstar.
Are we gonna see any more Rockies movement with maybe signing players here in the
It
next
feels like there might be one more move in the
Yeah.
cards, but it's going to be a move that isn't going to be like, well, the Rockies got this guy. Oh my
Sure.
God! It's going to be the Rockies rock back Mark Reynolds.
That's
the
what I'm
Rockies
saying.
got a
It's gonna be one
backup
of those
catcher.
things.
It's gonna, but it's going to be a move that will be super important.
What about
Of that.
Lucroy? I don't, is Iannetta the guy or is it?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
gotta move on from that.
It
right?
sounds like Iannetta is the guy, but Drew and I both think that they should still bring back Lucroy.
Oh, yeah, I love
I
that.
love Lucroy.
Lucroy's a great player.
Yeah, he's awesome. And they need more than one catcher. So if it's not going to be him, like somebody of Walters or Murphy's got to step up.
And I don't think Drew or I really have any faith in Walters or Murphy right now, and that's not to say that they can't do it because I think we've both seen them at times do it, whether at the major league or minor league level. But it says a lot that by the end of the season last year, they're playing Tony Walters a lot at second base and batting practice because I think they want to move him into that versatile Austin Barnes type role with the Dodgers.
Murphy used Slayer South of Heaven as walk-up music, and
And Lucroy's got that sweet Billy.
I know, but I've never been there when Murphy played, so I never got to hear Slayer when I was sitting.
He changed it though. He changed it to something else.
Did he change
Yeah,
it?
he did. Yeah, he came up with I don't know something. It wasn't Slayer.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? I mean, like, do you think the starting lineup on opening day is it going to look significantly different than what we saw at the end of last year?
No.
No, not significantly different. I mean, I do think they're going to do everything they can to start Ryan McMahon at first base. Where at the end of the year last year, they were pretty much the opposite, doing everything they could to not have Ryan McMahon start there at first base. And you're going to see somebody at one of those corner outfield spots. It's going to be Desmond and Blackman. I don't think they want to start Parra. So you're going to see a young guy, Dollar Tapia.
And as much as you guys want to think, all right, you play your best player, you know, that's what you do if you're a team. There's a lot of politics in sports. There's a lot of politics in life. We all know that. Carlos Gonzalez was the face of the Rockies franchise. He was the cornerstone at right field. They were going to give him every opportunity, and they did to right the ship. He eventually did in September, but there was a lot more going on there than simply, all right, Ryan Tapia is batting .330, let's replace him over Cargo. You can't just do that. That'd be like this. If you're playing high school sports and you are a senior and you feel like you've earned your time on the varsity and you've played 4 years and you put your time in the varsity and then all of a sudden this freshman stud comes up and is going to take your spot and your coach plays him over you, then all of the rest of the players in your program are going to be pissed.
Yeah, but Cargo and Charlie Blackman have the same effect.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
It really is.
It doesn't feel like it at all, does it?
No, I think Charlie would be younger, but
Back problems, man, will make you feel. I can tell you all day, it'll make you feel like you're 10 years older. than
You're
you
the
are.
same age as them too.
Yeah, I know.
You're
Yeah,
having a bunch of gray in your beard.
Yeah, me and Cargo and Charlie are all the same age, so I'm glad that we all feel relatively equally accomplished in our lives.
But what a crazy ride for Charlie though, to start off as a pitcher and eventually learn how to bat because he wasn't going to be.
look at you reading Charlie's Wikipedia, buddy.
I don't know where it. Maybe I read it from you guys. You guys read anything
Yeah,
about
and the
that?
story about that is interesting
Maybe I read
because
from you.
he went to play the way college baseball works is it only happens in the spring, right? In the summer before his senior year, he was playing in a wood bat league, which guys often do down in Texas, and he didn't tell the coach he was a pitcher. He just told them that he was a player. So he didn't tell anyone, and he just started hitting, comes back to college at GT, and his coach sees the stats and like, you just hit 410, you're a pitcher. How'd you do that? He's like, well, let me play the outfield, see what happens. Ends up getting drafted in the 9th round by the Rockies.
Corey
Who
Seager
will
did
be
the same thing.
who will be the first Colorado Rocky in Major League Baseball Hall of
They'll both go in at the same time. I think that
Fame? Blackman.
No, I think Larry Walker and
No.
Todd Helton are both going to go into the Hall of Fame.
No.
Todd Helton will go in with
No.
the players vote, and the Veterans Committee will put Larry Walker in that.
What
same
about the
position.
PED thing now?
I don't know who ever took PED.
Helton.
No.
Helton's never under suspicion.
Then they had Coors Field injected into the.
Yeah, Coors Field, as I believe Larry Walker said something about, Coors Field was his PA.
Yeah.
Here's my take. I don't think either are gonna end up in the Hall of Fame. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but the way things have trended, a lot of people like
So
talking.
if neither of them do, who's the first?
If Nolan ends up with his career here, Nolan is obviously the.
Nolan would be the first.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I
not one of those
think-
two, it'll be no.
I think what Troy Tulowitzki's gone through in Toronto right now almost assuredly made him not a Hall of Fame.
Oh.
He had a Hall of Fame talent. If Troy Tulowitzki continued the pace he was on with the Rockies and the Blue Jays, he was a Hall of Fame. It was almost a layup.
Yeah.
But his career has just fallen off the absolute map, and I want to turn that around because I grew up loving Tulo. But you're looking at it as right, awesome.
Tulo!
But yeah, Nolan Arenado is obviously the best candidate right now of anyone.
I'm going to ask a favor of the two of you, because you have this great influence on people. Can you really push the whole sandblaster thing?
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
the greatest nickname ever for Arenado.
I don't think anyone's pushed that harder than me.
Yeah.
I think you're talking to the guys that have pushed it.
Well, we'll keep pushing it, because it was there for like a week, and then just
Yeah, we were.
Sandblaster is the perfect nickname for this.
We've been running through our top 10 moments from the last season, and one of them was, I can't remember now. I did list and I can't remember, but
It was just
seventh or eighth
It was
was.
just like, I don't even know how it happened. It
Sand-
just one night
It
all of
was
a sudden
so
it became the
organic.
Sandblaster.
That's what was great about it, is that it was an organic thing with the fans. And Jake and I were watching it happen on Twitter as people were starting to recognize it. It was like a slight mistranslation of a Spanish phrase, and all of it was fantastic. All of it worked together. The Sandblaster for Nolan.
And then I pushed for Breaking Tea to make a T-shirt of it, and then they did it, and then they canceled it, and it was all over. It was done.
That's what I like about the Rockies is there's a nice community surrounding it, and I think there's a lot of fun stuff that happens during the
Here's
season.
how fun the Rockies are and how much involved in the community they are. The Rockies, obviously, the Nolan Arenado walk-off site was awesome. You have that great image of him screaming.
I was there. I was there. Thank God I
Well,
was.
and how much? Where's that rank in sports?
Number one.
Awesome.
Number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
One of the
helicopter play is number two because I wasn't there.
Right. So, they had an off day the next day on Monday after the Sunday game. The next Tuesday, they're playing Arizona in the home series. And this is the day Nolan Arenado took Zach Greinke for a triple in the eighth inning, knocked him out of the ball game, and won the ball game. And the Rockies went 20 games above 500 for the second time.
And then they lost like
8
20
games
games
in
in
a
a row or
row.
something.
That
Yeah.
Tuesday, when we walked into the clubhouse, I think 80% of the Rockies were wearing purple T-shirts with Nolan Arenado's face on it.
I have that T-shirt.
I did too.
2 days after it happened, the Rockies themselves are all wearing the shirt that's a meme. That is a great community right there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's cool.
I took the picture of Tony Walters wearing the taco shirt that Purple Row made. There's such a great relationship, and I give so much credit to the Rockies social media team and the PR people. They do such a great job of connecting with fans.
Julian!
Did you see what Julian's doing today on Snapchat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Like, they really reach out to their fans, make themselves accessible.
Whoever manages their Twitter
That's
account is a
good.
genius.
Julian Valentin's the best.
He is a genius. He is an absolute genius.
Collins like talk shit to him too,
And he
handled
loves
Collins-
it.
He handled Collins like a
Yeah.
fucking- yeah, he handled him. He took care of it. So it's
Rockies are a fun team.
They really are, and I think it's I'm excited for it because it just.
Oh, I am absolutely.
Because the
I am
games are on-
absolutely twitching. I'm
Most,
twitching. I
I mean, they're
can't.
on, several days out of the week. You always have that interaction with people on Twitter. It's always fun. There's just always kind of it's a long game, so you've got a lot of time to sit there and talk shit.
Well,
to each other.
the problem is this: the NL West will once again have 3 teams in the playoffs this year, and who's going to be the fourth team?
But-
And it could be the Rockies be the fourth
But
team, and not the third.
but here's the thing, and
Or
this
the
is like
second
why my mom misses the point, is because it's still fun. It's fucking blast. You're gonna have a great time. We know we're gonna have a great time watching the Rockies and interacting with people. It's just a good time.
You remember, did you watch the team in 2010? Were you guys watching the team in 2010? You remember when Ubaldo was going?
Yeah.
And then you started marking your calendar. You started looking ahead a couple of when's he gonna pitch? I don't need to watch all the Rockies games, but Ubaldo's going. Well, next year you're gonna have to mark the calendar whenever Andre's gonna pitch. Mark, check that.
The rate
Kyle-
stats. Yeah, the
Kyle
Rockies.
Freeland pitching.
Yeah.
Oh, Herman Marquez might be gone. He could do something. He shut up the Cubs.
It's delicious.
Oh, man, Chad Bettis is going. We got to see where he's at in his recovery to the thing. You're going to have a lot of games marking on your calendar for this squad.
I could talk about this all night, way over.
We should have started Rockies early.
I know, but it's wrong. But that's
Who you guys got in the Super Bowl?
we're gonna have these guys. We talk about Batman way too fucking long. we'll have these guys back soon because by the time we hit spring, when you guys get back from spring training, I think that's when you guys should come back.
The
in and
issue
report back.
is we will be down there for the first series of the year as well in Arizona because
Oh.
of the first series. But for opening
The
day,
morning
we can
live.
to opening day,
Yeah,
we will definitely come on that
All
Wednesday,
right,
Thursday.
we'll bring
whatever
it back. I just wanted to say that since Snyder was listening when I was talking about CSU, he said it was Earl Bruce. I think that's who the
Yeah, Earl Bruce was awesome.
89. See, that seems very.
Something
No,
came in
no,
like
this wasn't
90,
89.
92, 93.
Because I would have been 19. There's no way. And he said they were playing the Oregon Ducks with Bill Musgrave at QB, and he said I thought the coach ordered the players into the crowd after us. So that's what it looked like. It looked like he said, "Get those guys. They're tripping on mushrooms," and then they went after us. So, they knew. Yeah, they knew. They knew.
Who do you guys got in the Super Bowl? Just say your winner.
Real quick.
Drew.
Patriots.
Yeah.
They'll be down by 24 at half.
And they'll win.
I agree. I don't know. They're going to be down at one point, and they're going to climb back in, and they're going to win.
Over under 1.5 ridiculously stupid pass interference calls.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A brainless
Or-
Zach, or not Zach Gronkowski, Rob Gronkowski will, not that he wasn't brainless before, but a brainless Rob Gronkowski, Gronkowski, University of Arizona guys, we're talking about, will lead the Patriots to another Super Bowl.
I think
MVP.
I think the
Gronk MVP.
Tom will be the MVP.
Touchdown Tommy, handsome Tom, John.
Tom, baby, handsome Tom's going to take.
So you're calling it 2 for the Pats,
Yeah, I
right?
think so. I think this is just a team of destiny until he falls off to where he can't do it, and they just get sick of doing it. I think they're just going to keep going.
Doesn't he walk off into the sunset after this?
I
Doesn't he?
don't
No.
Have you
This
seen
is-
a Tom
this
Brady?
is-
I said a couple of weeks ago or a week or two ago, I said, the modern era of sports, they should start it like 1980, and because all those Steelers Super Bowls, it's like that shit doesn't count. That's a totally
That's not
different
real.
game, it's totally different players. And I think this Patriots thing that they've done is incredible. Granted, they probably cheated for half of them.
Oh, no doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing.
That's right. So, but I think they'll take it again. I don't want them to, but then again, I don't know if the fucking Eagles will.
Here's a variable. Nick Foles also University of Arizona. guy. So maybe there's a Foles Gronk thing. I don't know.
Brock Osweiler, Arizona State guy.
What's
He's
your
not in the game.
what's your call though, Scott? What do you got?
I just didn't know if we could do Denver's radio podcast without
The,
mentioning Brock.
the famous Simpsons joke where they say this place is easier to get into than Arizona State. So what's that tell you?
Diet Arizona.
Diet Arizona.
Arizona 0.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what you looking at?
And Patriots. And I'm not even gonna watch. I'm not even gonna watch
I'm
it.
gonna watch.
Oh, I'm gonna watch.
Because
I am gonna watch.
Justin Timberlake
And the-
sucked my ass.
The over under on beers I drink is 9. The over under on hot wings.
I'll take that bet.
Probably 17. I'm gonna go
My
17.
friends are treating me like a monkey. Like they're having me line up in front of the TV with my soundboard and doing play-by-play of the Super Bowl. So I have to in front of a whole party. So I have to do play-by-play.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, they're getting me drunk, but I have to, and I do play-by-play, but I have to do play-by-play for the Super Bowl, and I'm obviously not there.
That
So we'll
sounds
see how
That's
that
kind
goes.
of fun.
Can we publish this at our website?
Yeah,
I can send it to you guys.
You could say he's going to be covering the game from his couch.
That's right.
Oh.
With that, let's get out of here.
Mic drop.
I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope you've enjoyed the live show. Hey, yeah, I finally worked, I think. Good stuff, gents. It was nice having you here. Always a great time to have you guys because even we could talk Rockies, we can talk anything with you guys. It was really good. So we appreciate it. Let everybody know where they can find you on Twitters and the BSN site.
Hey, we're at BSN Rockies, bsnrockies.com. I'm at Drew Creasman. He's at Shapalicious. We're on Facebook, iTunes.
Facebook, BSN Rockies, iTunes, BSN Rockies. Just like and review all that.
I'm telling you guys, listen, and I know this is the BSN infomercial every week, but these guys do a fantastic job. If you want really good, if you're into the Rockies, you want good coverage, follow these dudes, pay to read their stuff. You won't regret.
They're really good.
They're really good. They're excellent stuff. So, wow, good show, guys. I appreciate you guys being here for the first live show ever. Again, very easy to do. Fucking you huge pussy, Brandon Perna. God damn, I don't know what the fuck's up your ass. So let's get out of here. Until next time, this is the South Stands Live.
Go Nuggets!
Adios.
We love you Denver! Whoa! Yeah!
Oh, I gotta piss. I'm gonna turn this off. I think. I don't know.
Little Merle.
Well, Merle.